flames burning over the top of the marshes.
Search for Hidden East Yorkshire on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
You're listening to BBC Radio Humberside Sport, live from Glanford Park as both sets of players come out onto the field. Still to come, we'll bring you reaction at half-time to Hull City's 1-0 defeat at home to Luton Town in the Championship from the Tigers head coach Ruben Sayers. And of course, you can have your say with Mike White up until 6 o'clock tonight by calling 08000 66 5959. But up next, full match commentary of the Iron at home to Southport.
BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
Well, we've been talking this week about the events that have been taking place off the field with regards to the FC 100,000 saga, and of course the devastating news of the potential closure of the 2 blast furnaces in the town of Scunthorpe. So often we say that football takes second place to life, but after a week such as this, the action on the field could bring some much needed cheer to the town and to the Iron supporters. Scunthorpe United head into this game 2 points clear at the top of the National League North following Kidderminster Harriers' victory in midweek. They take on a Southport side who have recently sacked Jim Bentley. They should be safe from relegation, 11 points clear of the bottom 4 under their caretaker or interim manager David Morgan. But not on a very good run of form at the moment, just 1 win in their last 6 games, and they have the joint 4th worst away record in the National League North as well. The Iron, of course, will be hoping to exact revenge after a 3-2 defeat at Hague Avenue earlier this season. Let's run you through the 2 teams. Scunthorpe United unchanged from the 3-1 victory at home to Chester last weekend. So in terms of the starting lineup, Ross Fitzsimons is the goalkeeper. The back 4, Michael Kelly continues at right back, Maxime Coogan and Will Evans are the 2 centre-halves, with Tyler Denton at left back. In the heart of midfield, it's Cian Scales, Joe Rowley and Michael Clunan, the captain, with a front 3 of Callum Roberts, Carlton Ubazonu and Alfie Beeston. Will be interesting to see how those 3 line up. There is one change on the bench. Mason Campbell comes in after saving a couple of penalties in the Irons Lincolnshire Senior Cup victory in midweek. He replaces Luke Williams. The other substitutes, Andrew Boyce, Mark Beck, Joe Starbuck and Mo Federa. As for Southport, after their 1-0 defeat at home to Scarborough Athletic last week, they make 4 changes. In come Keenan Kwanzaa, Danny Lloyd, Sam Minahan and Jai Curran Nichols. Owen Lunt and Sonny Hilton drop to the bench. Aaron Pickles and Dan Pike are not involved. The Southport media team didn't have a clue how they'd line up this afternoon. I'll try and give you my best guess at it. We're almost about to get underway here at Glanford Park. Scunthorpe United will be attacking from left to right in this first period as we get underway in their traditional claret and blue striped shirts, blue shorts with claret trim and blue socks, attacking the south stand to our right hand side. Southport in the old gold with black sleeves, black shorts and black socks. They're shooting from right to left towards the Donny Road end. Early goal kick here for Ross Fitzsimons to play short to his left hand side to Will Evans, who will bring the ball out from the edge of his own penalty area. Takes a few touches on his right foot as he strides forward. Short pass to Callum Roberts, who pings it back to Tyler Denton. Denton now with a couple of touches back out wide to the left hand side here to Callum Roberts. Now it's Will Evans on the ball again. Evans goes long, but that ball gets caught somewhat in the breeze. It's flicked on by the head of Michael Kelly. Then there's another header, this time from Cian Scales. Clunan nods it back to the halfway line to Michael Kelly, who hooks that up and under, right footed. It's allowed to bounce once. Carlton Ubazonu is onto it down the right hand channel, has Joe Rowley in support, but he's had his pocket picked, and it should be brought away here by Danny Philliskirk, but Scunthorpe United get it straight back. Clunan tries to feed it inside, but it's intercepted. Southport trying to bring it clear, and they lash it away through left back Joe Doyle. Will Evans awkwardly brings it down on his knee on the halfway line. Now it's Tyler Denton, smacked forward on the half volley. Beeston goes to chase it down. There's a header away by Quansah. Minahan will try and stop that from going out of play, but can't do so. Throw for the iron, taken quickly into the penalty area. Goes to Alfie Beeston from the left. Beeston with the shot, it's blocked. Danny Lloyd clears away. Proctor is the lone man up top for Southport. All he can do is head that to his left-hand side, straight back to a Scunthorpe United player. It's all iron in the opening 2 minutes here at Glanford Park. Roberts knocks it back to Tyler Denton on halfway. Now Evans carries it towards the halfway line. He'll try that diagonal again from left to right once more. Just gets a touch caught in the breeze. Doesn't get the full distance on it. It's a comfortable header away by Joe Doyle. Southport in the end get themselves a throw. Let's introduce once more your expert summariser for this one. Former iron striker Steve Torpey, what have you made of the opening couple of minutes?
Yeah, it's been all Scunthorpe, been all in the attacking half of the pitch. Just looking at Callum Roberts is playing on that left hand side, and Orbazono is on the right hand side, and Beeston down the middle, which they played similar to that on last week. So yeah, interesting. I suppose they've got that fluidness and that kind of versatility. Those three, they can change and interchange throughout those positions. So it's a good trait to have. But yeah, a real bright start from Scunthorpe.
I tell you that Chris Renshaw is a Southport goalkeeper. It looks like a back four at the moment of Joe Doyle, Nat Knight Percival, Keenan Quansah and Sam Minahan. Danny Philliskirk is in midfield along with Tom Moore, Luke Burgess and Jai Curran Nichols, with Danny Lloyd just playing off of Jamie Proctor up front. On the Southport bench, Matt Thompson, Owen Lundy, Oran Angus, Sonny Hilton and Connor Evans. As a long throw comes in from the left-hand side, collected comfortably by Ross Fitzsimons at his near post, catched it cleanly on the half volley. Well, I say cleanly, it spiralled off the outside of his right boot and straight out for a throw. So I think, Steve, have you lost the pen?
I've lost my pen. What am I going to do, Ollie? I found it. It's all right.
Have you found it?
Yeah, it's down there. Cheers.
Bit of early drama here in the commentary row. We're not in a box as such. You've still not got it.
I've still not got it. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I'll try and. Oh, you're lending me one. Thank you.
With a nice claret gel pen. Long throw from Southport, comes down the iron to left-hand side. Evans hooks the ball away. There's a header on from Kean Scales as he gets shoved in the back by Tom Moore. Free kick for Scunthorpe United. They take it quickly. They switch play from right to left. Callum Roberts back to Tyler Denton. Midway inside his own half on the left-hand side. Cuts it, the ball into the centre circle, but it's intercepted by captain Danny Philliskirk for Southport. And the Sandgrounders have possession again. Minahan into Danny Lloyd. Funnels it back into the heart of defence with Nat Knight Percival, who goes along. Only manages to pick out Will Evans. Scunthorpe United get possession back. Cracking atmosphere coming from the Donny Road end to our left-hand side. And here is Ross Fitzsimons with the ball inside his own D. Proctor doesn't go to press, so Fitzsimons pumps it forward long. Ubazonu with the header inside. Now it's Michael Clunan who picks up the pieces. Kelly on halfway. Forced onto his stronger left foot by Sonny Hilton. Goes back to his goalkeeper Fitzsimons. And the iron will try again. Evans springs over the halfway line. Keeps going. Evans, nice pass into Alfie Beeston, holds it up away from Knight Percival into the penalty area. Rowley's onto it, he's just shoved off the ball by Philliskirk. Good defending there from the Southport skipper. Just muscled Rowley off the ball. No foul committed inside the visitors' penalty area, and it's a goal kick for Southport. 5 minutes gone, still goals.
Yeah, really unlucky. It's a great ball. Joe Rowley just kind of. I think it is quite windy. I'm looking at the flags blowing in the stand, and it is a windy afternoon. You don't really realise until that ball goes up in the air, but it just caught the wind again and just delayed the flight of that ball, and Joe Rowley just delayed, and the defender got back in and made the interception. But nice little through ball.
Southport goal kick. Renshaw, who's in a light pink goalkeeping kit, goes long. It was brought down well initially by Proctor, but then his second touch let him down, and Scunthorpe United are back in business. That's a nice sweeping pass over to the left-hand side by Will Evans. Here is Tyler Denton. Beeston rolls away from his man, Curran Nichols, but Scunthorpe United lose the ball here and try and win it straight back, but Proctor has rolled away from Coogan. Will Evans gets his centre-back partner out of trouble, and he continues to maraud forward again as the iron centre-back. Out wide to the right-hand side here with Ubazonu, just his touch saw the ball elude and get away from him. Southport clear. It's a heavy touch from Proctor, but he's charged down Coogan's clearance and blocked it. Coogan, right hand side, eventually gets the ball away, but it's picked up here by Burgess for Southport. Left of centre now to Philliskirk. Philliskirk will drive it wide to the right here with Minahan. Southport still inside the Scunthorpe United half. As I say that, they're forced backwards. That night Percival keeps the ball away from Alfie Beeston. That's Renshaw, the goalkeeper, inside his own D. Short pass to his right hand side to Quanza. Quanza long from right to left, looking for Burgess. Kelly cuts that long ball out, and Southport back onto the second, hoofed up into the air by Knight Percival, and Coogan. That's intelligent defending there in his aerial duel with Proctor. Nodded it back to goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons, and the iron are on the front foot again here with Denton. Now it's Scales, midway inside the Southport half, into Beeston, who held it up inside the D, but is barged off the ball by Knight Percival. And Southport win it straight back. Burgess on the left, whips it down the line. Karen Nichols has made the run rather, and had his pocket picked rather effortlessly by Maxine Coogan. Here's the captain for the Iron, Michael Clunan. Rolls it to the left and then gets the ball back from Tyler Denton, just over the halfway line, left of centre. Back to Will Evans now on the edge of the centre circle. Driven over the top, Scales was making a run inside. Evans was looking to pin the ball in towards the corner flag. Neither player on the same wavelength, and it's out for a goal kick.
Again, they're trying to penetrate and make those deep runs. Keane Scales made a good run, but just the ball was kind of hit behind him rather than a straight ball in between kind of the fullback and the centre half. See what they're trying to do, just that execution that's letting them down a little bit at the moment. But the intent's there. They've really kind of defended really well, especially Coogan. He's been really aggressive, and that should be a nice little battle with Proctor up there. He's favouring that right hand side, his left hand side, so that 1v1 battle with Wilbzuna should be interesting this afternoon. But I think Andy Butler will be relatively satisfied with the start they've made.
Looks like a 4-1-3-2, but it's a very lopsided Southport formation. Luke Burgess is playing as a left midfielder out on the wing, but there's no one equal to him on the right hand side for Southport at the moment. It's quite a strange setup, I would say. Yeah,
I've put it varies, doesn't it, from minute to minute. I've put like a 4-2-3-1 out of possession, so there's two behind there's four the back four, and there's three slightly advanced, and there's Proctor up there on his own when they're out of possession. So it's a little bit more fluid when they're in possession, but they've got a little bit of shape there. But can we exploit those wide areas if we can get on the ball a little bit quicker?
Southport forced back by their own corner flag, but they've got a throw in here on the visitors' right. It's going to be Sam Minahan to take the throw in. Won the National League North title with Stockport County back in 2019. The Sandgrounders go long. The ball should be picked up here by Maxime Coogan, a Southport player within 10 yards of him, so he plays the pass to his left hand side to Will Evans. Evans with a few just touches, keeping the ball glued to his right foot. The pass isn't the best though, and Burgess gets there first for Southport. Tries to dummy the ball, let it roll underneath his feet, and invites the challenge from Michael Clunan and wins the free kick. Both players down at the moment. Michael Clunan sort of holding his forearm up to his forehead. Luke Burgess eventually back up onto his feet, and now Clunan does the same. Free kick here then for Southport from the left. It's about 10 yards inside the Scunthorpe United half. Clunan just mopping his face with his shirt at the moment. Jack Doyle is going to take it, the former Blackburn Rovers youngster. Joined Southport all the way back in 2019. Doyle into Proctor from the free kick, holds it up away from Keane Scales, but Joe Rodey is in there quickly to try and win the ball back. Scunthorpe United clear, and I don't think Callum Roberts will get there in time. No, he won't, but he picks the pocket of Quanza, and here come the Iron on the counter-attack. Roberts into Scales, into the penalty area, gets the ball onto his right foot, and the Iron take the lead, and it's the man who has become prolific for Scunthorpe United in recent weeks, Keane Scales, out of nothing, Scunthorpe United launch a counter-attack. Quanser was trying to see the ball out for a throw-in on the far side. Let Callum Roberts dispossess him. Roberts saw Scales make the bombing run forward, just cut away from the on-rushing defender onto his right foot into the penalty area, and he's tucked it home past Chris Renshaw. Scunthorpe United have the lead with 11 and a half minutes gone.
Yeah, great bit of play. Firstly from Roberts, closing down. Really, it was a nothing ball. He's just going to poor defending, you may argue, but Roberts done really well. Then found Kean Scales, who made that forward run, like you say. Then great composure. He's chopped in onto his right hand side. Defenders sold the defender a dummy. A nice bit of composure that sometimes has been lacking throughout that season, just to find the back of the net with ease. Just what Scunthorpe needed. Well, I say that first goal is crucial, and to get it so early on is real nice, promising side.
Kean Scales with his 6th goal of the season for Scunthorpe United. Southport trying to find a quick equaliser, but their attack goes awry. Michael Kelly clears his lines. Joe Rowley will pick up the clearance, lays it off to Michael Clunan, who tries to get Scunthorpe United out from their own penalty area. Southport pick it up here 30 yards from goal, but it's miscontrolled by Danny Lloyd. The Iron have it back, and it will be Tyler Denton to find Callum Roberts at the forward pass. Roberts got a bit of zip on that ping back to his left back Denton. The Iron still in possession here. Evans rolls it wide to the left hand side again. Roberts looks up, fired forward, header away by the Southport back line. Will Evans has lost it. Maxime Coogan should get him out of trouble. It's not the best of passes forward, but Tyler Denton will retrieve the situation once and then twice, as he's caught late by Danny Lloyd, who is sliding in. Free kick to Scunthorpe United.
And that's the thing with them only playing the one striker with Proctor up front. When Scunthorpe, when they've made a few mistakes, when they have made the mistakes, there's been that cover from the opposite defender. So if Will Evans has made this mistake, Coogan's been covering really well, and vice versa. So they're not really going for it at the moment, Southport, but I don't think they've got that confidence to come to a place like Scunthorpe and try and dictate the play. They're sitting deep, being compact out of possession of the ball, but not really creating much going forward.
Roberts gliding forward down the left-hand side rather, wins a free kick. I should say, of course, that your referee this afternoon is Harry Jones. The assistant referees are Wayne Cooper and Joshua Bramall. Another Joshua is the 4th official, Joshua Howell. Harry Jones, 68 yellow cards, 5 reds in his 18 games officiated in the National League North this season. The last time he was here at Glanford Park, he presided over a 6-0 win for the Iron at home to Farsley Celtic back in late October. He's given a free kick here from the left, which Michael Clunan, I think they thought about going short. Instead, Clunan whips in from the left-hand side. Important header away inside the penalty area from a Southport perspective by Nathaniel Knight-Percival. Joe Doyle clears. Clearance is picked up by Michael Kelly. A couple of yards over the halfway line on the right. Drives it forward on his stronger left foot. Maxime Coogan was still up from the back. Got behind Quanser, who did well to head that ball away. And now it's Southport here with Proctor. Rolls away from the press of Joe Rowley. Inside the centre circle now. Shovels it to his right-hand side to Phyllis Kirk. Lloyd hooks it to Sam Minahan on that right-hand touchline. Here is Lloyd again. Does well to ride one challenge from Callum Roberts. Into Moore, into the penalty area. Right-footed shot is deflected wide of the far post. Challenge coming in there from Will Evans to block the shot. Almost inadvertently took it goalwards, out for a corner.
Yeah, it looked quite easy just to run through. Moore's kind of delayed his run from midfield, broken between the fullback, I think it was Will Evans and Coogan on this occasion, and really opened up for him. Good cover, just got his foot in. I think it was Evans to deflect it out for a corner, but probably their first little bit of play, Southport. First opportunity.
Corner, they go short from the left-hand side. Burgess into Danny Lloyd, left-hand side the penalty area, smashes in the cross. He's got way too much on that from the byline, and it'll bounce all the way out for a throw into Scunthorpe United on the far side.
So that's when they need to not be too complacent. Scunthorpe, they do get a little bit lackadaisical. They kind of open up and try to play a little bit too expansive, especially defensively, but those midfield runners, they have to stay with them. So that probably was Michael Coonan there to stay with his runner instead of just letting him run and pass him on. That communication comes into play also there.
Southport go long from defence through Knight Percival. Proctor is making the late run but hasn't got the pace to keep that ball alive, and it will go over the byline and out for a goal kick. Southport have struggled for goals this season, the 5th fewest in the National League North that they've scored, 39 in total. And they also of course come up against the meanest defence in the division. Scunthorpe United have conceded just 28 so far. Will Evans over to the left hand side. Here is Callum Roberts. We mentioned it in our pre-match build-up, scored his 25th goal in Iron Colours in the 3-1 win at home to Chester last weekend. Back with Evans. Of course, Callum Roberts, if you missed it, Scunthorpe United rejecting a bid for him from a National League club, and he's threaded that in behind beautifully for Cian Scales, the goal scorer, to run on to. Once it comes across to clear, and the final touch in the end is off of Cian Scales and out for a goal kick to Southport.
Yeah, Evans done a little bit better there. Rather than forcing the play and dribbling, he just kind of kept it simple, played a little 1-2 and tried to play the ball down the left hand side. Lucky Scales, just good defending, just tried to get a touch on it, and defender ricocheted off Cian Scales, gone out for a goal kick. But that's the type of play, don't need to force it, don't need to all these long diagonal balls if it's not on to do so. Just keep it simple, 5-10 yard passes to create some space.
Chris Renshaw takes the goal kick, once on the books at Everton. Lumped high up into the air by Jack Doyle. Proctor backs into Maxime Coogan, who is forced to let the ball bounce, but he gets his header away eventually. Back here with Michael Kelly, put under pressure by Curran Nichols. Now it's Fitzsimons, who clears from inside his 6-yard area. The ball will bounce into the path of Joe Rowley here, who elects to let it bounce out for a throw, and will lob the ball to Michael Kelly. 10 yards behind the halfway line on the right hand side, and Kelly exchanges a 1-2 from the throw with his captain Michael Cloonan. Kelly then retreats back into his own penalty area to give the ball to Ross Fitzsimons. If you missed any of our pre-match build-up, then there's a full interview with Ross Fitzsimons on BBC Sounds. Just search for Scunthorpe United and make sure you subscribe while you're there. Ubazonu flicks Fitzsimons' long ball on. Now it's Rowley into the penalty area, juggles it over the top of Knight Percival, and there's a clearance away. Southport making a hash of clearing their lines here, and it's picked up by Ubazonu. Back to Michael Cloonan, 25 yards from goal, right of centre. Ubazonu again on the ball, right wing, left foot, pulls it back to Cloonan. Now it's Kelly who's pushed up from the back. Gets it onto his left foot, thinks about pulling the trigger to cross, does. Doyle stands his ground and blocks it. Coogan is there to pick up, as Proctor over his shoulder does well to get the throw in, and Kelly will take it again. Kelly into Alfie Beeston, who drops deep from his centre forward position. 1-2 between him and Joe Rowley. Beeston down the right hand side, delivers the cross, flies across the penalty area, no one able to get onto the end of it. Sail all the way out. There was a Southport touch on the way through, so it's a Scunthorpe United throw in, level with the Southport penalty area on the left. Denton to take it. Cloonan runs this way and that, trying to evade his marker. Denton takes a sensible option of going backwards to Tyler Denton, who wriggles free of Danny Lloyd's challenge, then tries to slide past Curran Nichols, who did win the ball, and a free kick is eventually given, but this time Southport's way, as Ubazonu has clipped the heels of Knight Percival. 20 minutes played here at Glanford Park on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Your second big match commentary of the day. Scunthorpe United leading Southport by 1-0.
Yeah, and at the moment you think it's relatively comfortable. Southport dominating possession. Southport had half a chance there 5 minutes ago, but in general terms, Southport probably 65% possession. Looked more creative. The forwards look nice and agile and dangerous this afternoon. Kind of interaction between the three, especially Ubazonu and Alfie Beeston. Some good interchange of position. Probably just need that second goal just to settle the nerves down, but at the moment it's relatively comfortable. Kelly
with a booming header from the Southport free kick into the visitors' half. Mike Percival with the clearance away. It's brought down by Maxime Coogan and left-footed fires it back into Southport territory. That came off an arm, but play continues. Mike Percival up from the back is brought down by Will Evans. Another free kick for the visitors, but they forced themselves further forward here.
Yeah, they're setting it up. It'll be no doubt a direct ball into the box, and not really looking to play it quickly or short. Looking for the big target players to win the first and second balls here.
Keenan Kwanzaa has gone up from the back, of course the brother of the Liverpool defender Jarrell. Knight Percival has stayed forward. Moore is up there also. Scunthorpe United holding a high line to defend this free kick about 5 yards outside of their own penalty area. It's whipped in left-footed by Jack Doyle towards the right-hand side, kept alive by Kwanzaa, and there could be a shot coming towards goal here, but Moore has fluffed his lines and the iron clear away. Denton with a looping header up into the air, flicked on by Scales. Southport have it back here. There was a chance there for the visitors which they didn't capitalise on. Doyle driven forward, left-footed. Kelly heads away, bounces once. Phyllis Kirk nods it on. Here is Proctor, who's peeled out wide to the left-hand side. Nice back heel from him into Burgess. Burgess back to Doyle. Well, to bring that pass under control. Doyle tries to feed it inside, gets the throw, and he tries to take it quickly, but from a pretty incorrect position in the end.
Yeah, he can live with 2 or 3 yards, but that was probably about 10 or 12 yards up this touchline.
Jack Doyle, I remember commentating on him when he had a loan spell at Maidstone United many years ago, during a season in which the club was relegated from the National League. Knight Percival slammed forward into the iron penalty area. Evans wins his header. It's bouncing around 30 yards from goal. Burgess, nice 1-2 between him and Curran Nichols. Now Moore rolls it across midfield into his captain Phyllis Kirk. Proctor dropping deep again to pick up pockets. Phyllis Kirk, now it's Knight Percival on the halfway line. Burgess looks over his shoulder to see where Uberzono is. Now Phyllis Kirk. Southport stringing passes together here, but only in and around the halfway line, and eventually they lose it. Clunan, Kelly, then it's eventually knocked back to the safety of Ross Fitzsimons in his own penalty area, who clears away. Brought down well by Keenan Kwanzaa. And now it's Sam Minahan. Goes back to his goalkeeper Chris Renshaw. And he plays short, out from his own box. To Kwanzaa, the right-sided centre-half. Hoisted upfield. Proctor with the header on. No one really making the run in behind. So it'll be a Ross Fitzsimons ball. Fitzsimons pokes it into the path of Will Evans. Evans here gesturing for players to come short. Instead swings it across to Maxime Coogan. Heavy first touch from him. Fortunately, Proctor wasn't in close quarters to win it back. And Evans has possession again for Scunthorpe United. Looks up. Swung over to the left-hand side. Scales brings it under control, but it bounced up off the instep of his foot onto his hand. And the referee has given the free kick in Southport's favour.
Yeah, I don't think that was intended. It was a ball in the pitch is bobbly, isn't it, as we spoke about throughout the season. As he's touched, it's just ricocheted up on his hand. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't think it was. It was just a poor control of Kean Scales.
Southport goal kick. Looks like a 4-2-1-3 now, the Southport formation, with Lloyd perhaps trying to drift a bit more wide to the right-hand side. Long. Curran Nichols was being halted from trying to latch onto that forward ball by Michael Clunan, and Scunthorpe United get it away as we hit the 25-minute mark at Glanford Park here on BBC Radio Humberside Sports. Scunthorpe United 1, Southport 0. As the ball is claimed inside the iron penalty area by Ross Fitzsimons in that dark green goalkeeping kit. Just calms play down before rolling the ball to his left-hand side to Will Evans. Proctor watches on, about 5 yards away, eventually goes to press. Evans feeds it into Alfie Beeston, who's had his pocket picked. Phyllis Kirk driving at the iron back line, shoots! And he drags it just a touch wide of the right-hand post.
Yeah, so just writing some notes there. They was in decent possession and they just give it away. And that is the thing, when they are counter-attacking, and a couple of chances similar to previous, just screwed it wide, didn't get a great contact on it. But just need to be careful and a bit mindful of losing it in those central areas where they're most dangerous.
Maxime Coogan will bring the ball out from the back for the hosts here. Alfie Beeston looks like he's dropped into midfield for the time being. He's dropped deep for the last couple of passages of play, but now will make his way back into that centre forward position as Southport have got themselves a throw. Doyle, long, down the left wing. Coogan wins his header. It balloons up into the air from Moore's first touch on the halfway line. Will Evans with the header across the iron defence. From that long ball forward to Tyler Denton, is closed down by Danny Lloyd. Goes back to Ross Fitzsimons, lets the ball roll across his body before firing it away right-footed. Ubazonu misses his header. Villerskirk looks over both of his shoulders, lets the ball drift out for a throw in to Southport, which will be left for Jack Doyle to preside over again. Long down the left. Proctor with the header on and gets a second bite of the cherry. Does well to skip away from a couple of challenges there from Ubazonu and Rowley. Good bit of skill from Proctor as Doyle wins another throw in. His long ball forward charged down by Joe Rowley. Doyle will take his time over this. Hurled into the Scunthorpe United half. Header away by Michael Clunan, and it's launched up into the air by Quansah. Eventually bounced through here to Will Evans, who nods it to his left-hand side to Callum Roberts. Just has to hook that over the top of his head with Sam Minahan breathing down his neck, and he concedes the throw-in on the far side.
Yes, they've definitely grown into the game, Southport. Last 4 or 5 minutes, a bit more support up to the forward players and trying to build the attack. They've had a fair bit of possession over the last 3 or 4 minutes as well. Scales
over the top from him. It's a bit of an ambitious forward ball that Ubazonu couldn't get to, as it's bowled out ferociously from his own penalty area by Chris Renshaw to Jamie Proctor, forced back into his own half and back to Renshaw, who then slices a forward ball on his left peg straight out of play for an iron throw-in. Will be taken eventually by Michael Kelly, a couple of yards behind the halfway line on the right. Kelly, 1-2 between him and Joe Rowley, whipped forward left-footed. Knight Percival with the header away. It's brought under control on the halfway line by Villerskirk, now shovelled forward by Burgess. Couldn't find the late run of Danny Lloyd. The ball stayed in play from the iron clearance, and eventually it's knocked out for a throw to Scunthorpe United. Kelly, thrown towards the penalty area. It's brought under control well by Alfie Beeston, flicks inside to Kean Scales. Now Tyler Denton just outside of the centre circle, left of centre, forward ball, deft back heel from Alfie Beeston, but just a bit too much zip on it, and it will dribble out for a goal kick to Southport.
Yeah, and they've just changed. Roberts coming over this right hand side, and Ubizonu's gone over to that left hand side just to try and mix it up. So Southport have got more into the game last 5 minutes, but just that kind of getting those balls in central areas on this pitch is really tough, and the weight of pass is sometimes over it, and to get that touch it needs to be perfect just in that scenario. Try and work out to Roberts down this right hand side a little bit more and get a bit of a foothold in the game and create a few more chances, because they haven't really created much since the goal. It's been a little bit flatter from the real good start.
Ubazonu will try and chase a forward ball down. It's cleared away by Chris Renshaw as we head towards the half-hour mark. Moore, high boot in there, referee says no, and Moore brings it under control on the edge of the centre circle. Into Burgess, back to Moore as the forward pass rolls away from Joe Rowley. Moore rides a challenge from Rowley, and now it's Proctor who's peeled wide to this left-hand side. Proctor with the right-footed cross, stooping header away by Michael Kelly. It falls to Villerskirk, 35 yards from goal. Minahan delivers across from the right-hand side, and Maxime Coogan not quite sure who was over his shoulder. Proctor was behind him, just needed a shout, but has taken the safe option of heading the ball behind the dead ball line and out for a Southport corner kick.
Yeah, good decision. He could have tried to hit it with his weaker left foot to clear it. He's kind of slouched down a little bit and just guided it out for a corner. Better be safe than sorry in those situations.
Which Danny Lloyd will take, left-footed, scored a brace in the 3-2 win for Southport over the iron in October. Whips it in, it's an outswinger, which Alfie Beeston gets to first. Will Evans further heads it away. Villerskirk booms it back into the Scunthorpe United box. Will Evans is fouled though inside the D. And that will be a Scunthorpe United free kick with half an hour gone. The Iron leading Southport by 1-0. Kidderminster Harriers in second. Also leading by the same scoreline at home to Peterborough Sports. Brackley Town in third, goalless at home to Scarborough Athletic, and Chester in fourth, being held to a 1-1 draw by Curzon Ashton at the moment. Elsewhere, Chorley 0, Spennymoor Town 0, Farsley Celtic 0, Hereford 0, Leamington 0, Kings Lynn Town 0, Marine 0, Alfreton Town 0, Needham Market 0, Buxton 1, Oxford City 0, Radcliffe 0, Rushall Olympic 0, South Shields 0, and Warrington Town 0, Darlington 1. Scunthorpe United concede a free kick. Inside the centre circle, in the Southport half as well. And it'll be Keenan Kwanzaa to take it for the visitors. Just gets a shout from his goalkeeper Chris Renshaw, who's a good few yards away. Kwanzaa goes long from right to left. It bounces off a sandy part of the turf. That didn't mean that Proctor could bring it under control. The iron clear. Ubazonu heads it back to Tyler Denton. Shovels that forward on the volley. Scales chests it down 20 yards from goal. Edge at the penalty area, left to centre. Rolled into Rowley inside the D. They work it from left to right here. Roberts gets the ball glued to his left foot. Has two Southport players to beat. Tries to dig out the cross. Rowley's there first to it as it ballooned up into the air away from Renshaw. Now it's Kelly. The iron forced back a touch somewhat, and Callum Roberts' first touch from Kelly's pass wasn't the best. Scunthorpe United still get the throw though, and Kelly is waiting to take it. Into Callum Roberts. Roberts forced backwards with Doyle behind him, and he just scoops it into the centre circle for Will Evans to pick up. Now Tyler Denton. Ubazonu beaten to the ball by Danny Lloyd, but just about manages to stab it back to Tyler Denton, who's lost it to Lloyd. Keane Scales gets his teammate out of trouble but concedes the throw-in.
Yeah, again, just some real good areas. Just that final little bit. Even Roberts there. Again, I don't moan about the pitch, but it did bobble up. His first touch just bobbled up, and just that kind of detail, that fine detail, those split seconds can make a difference between creating a chance and getting your shot away, or the defender recovering and getting back into his position. So just need to tidy up on that little bit of technical work, and I'm sure the chances will flow.
Sam Minahan with the throw in, midway inside the Scunthorpe United half on the right, throws it into Moore and then gets it back. Tries to clip it down the right hand channel, but he's got that all wrong as Minahan. Comes off the outside of his right foot and goes out for a Scunthorpe United throw, almost level with their own 6-yard area. Hurled into the box by Tyler Denton to Ross Fitzsimons. Another long ball forward that gets caught in the breeze here at Glanford Park, and Southport have it straight back. Proctor now, one-on-one with Maxime Coogan, rolls it into the penalty area, just too much on it for Curran Nichols to try and latch onto, but also it was an awkward enough pass that Clunan couldn't let it roll behind the byline and out for a goal kick, so he's forced to take evasive action and gives away another corner kick here to Southport from the left. Lloyd to take it again, once more left-footed. Kwanzaa and Knight Percival are up from the back here for Southport. It's another outswinger headed up into the air. I think that's come off of Knight Percival's forehead last, and it swings away from goal and out for a Scunthorpe United goal kick.
Yeah, I think they're just doing enough at the moment. Scunthorpe, they're fighting a little bit of pressure. Southport have definitely grown into this game, and without creating too many clear-cut chances or any clear-cut chances, but you can just tend to kind of swung a little bit more to Southport, especially in the last 10-15 minutes.
Kelly floated forward, Mike Percival with the header away. It drops to the feet of Michael Clunan. That's a beautiful ball out wide to the left hand side on the half volley, cut back in field from Denton to Scales' edge at the penalty area. Here is Alfie Beeston now back to Michael Clunan, 30 yards from goal. Clunan, Scales, back to Clunan again. Southport hunting in packs, trying to push Scunthorpe United backwards. Kelly, they work it over to the right hand side here. Heavy first touch from Joe Rowley, nodded out by Jack Doyle. He's claiming there was a high boot in there, but the referee disagrees, so a throw in for the Iron. Kelly from the right into Michael Clunan. Kelly goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons. One touch, and then the second is to slam it forward, aiming for Ubazonu. Kwanzaa heads away. Second ball's picked up here by Kean Scales, left of centre. Now it's Tyler Denton back to Scales. Scales forward, Beeston. Fair few heavy first touches so far in this game. Beeston slips it in behind for Michael Kelly. Right hand side of the penalty area, crosses in, it's blocked by Doyle. Kelly will get a second bite of the cherry, pulls it back to Clunan, has time to deliver the cross, instead plays it short to Rowley. Kelly again, left footed, weaves it inside to Roberts, 35 yards from goal, shot from distance, blocked, which took all the sting out of the effort, and it's claimed by Renshaw. Rolls it out to his right hand side to Minahan. Now Lloyd drifts in field and shanks it from right to left, just about makes his way to Doyle, who can only head the ball on, and then rush of blood to the head there from Michael Kelly, who just tried to fire it forward first time. It bounces off the side of Callum Roberts' head and goes out for a Southport throw-in.
Yeah, that little bit of composure from Kelly and a few players. Kind of, I don't know if it's sloppiness or the pitch. It's probably a combination of the two. To take a breath, get the ball down, draw Southport out a little bit to create the space. There's no rush. We're winning the game 1-0. Don't need to force the issue.
Jack Doyle with the throw down the left. Commanding header away by Maxime Coogan. Southport will pick up the second ball, will they? Just about, as Quantza waits for Kean Scales to close in before passing it back to Chris Renshaw, the Sandgrounder shot stopper. Flick on by Jamie Proctor, which collides with the ankles of Maxime Coogan. He can't stop that from going out for a Southport throw-in, so the Visitors push themselves forward here, but from their own throw they've lost possession. And now it's Beeston into Joe Rowley, marauding forward down the right-hand channel, delivers across in towards the near post, falls to Ubazano! And Scunthorpe United have an all-important 2-goal lead inside this first half, and once again Southport, masters of their own downfall, giving the ball away from their own throw-in, and Scunthorpe United launching forward quickly. Beeston rolling a through ball in behind for Rowley to roll onto. Cross coming in from the right, and it's tapped home by Carlton Ubazonu to give Scunthorpe United a 2-goal lead in the 39th minute.
Yeah, really well played by Joe Rowley there down this right hand side. It weren't even a great ball in. I don't know what the two defenders were doing. They went for the same ball. Ubazonu couldn't believe his luck. He's probably just about 10 yards out. He had time just to take a touch and pick his corner, just come off the inside of the post and rolled in the back of the net. But comical defending from Southport there. You know, on both goals you could argue big mistakes that led to the goals, but hey, we'll take that, and great timing. 38 minutes on the clock, perfect time to go in, hopefully 2-0 up.
Southport falling to pieces here. Really awful clearance away by Chris Renshaw. He just sliced it straight up into the air. 2 goals in 2 games for Carlton Ubazonu then, following his strike in the Lincolnshire Senior Cup final in midweek. In terms of league goals, that's his 4th of the campaign. And Scunthorpe United leading Southport by 2-0 with just over 5 minutes to go until the half-time whistle. Denton to the left, Kean Scales. The ball balloons off the instep of his right foot. Denton will try and win it back, does do so, just hacks it forward on the half volley down the line. It'll bounce out for a throw-in to Southport.
We're speaking about goals, and potentially the goal difference could make a big part of this season, and it could be the difference. So I'm sure Andy Butler want to keep those clean sheets intact. If we can add another 1 or 2 additional goals to this score line, that would definitely help the potential of going to the goal difference at the end of the season. Well,
at the moment both Scunthorpe United and Kidderminster Harriers will have an equal goal difference at the moment. Kidderminster Harriers still 1-0 up at home to Peterborough Sports. Brackley Town being held 0-0 by Scarborough Athletic, and it's still Chester 1, Curzon Ashton 1. Scunthorpe United on the attack again, but Michael Clunan can't pick out Callum Roberts wide on this right hand side. The Iron Note swarming Southport players, they win it straight back. Hoisted over the top by Scales. They do pick out Roberts on this occasion. Keeps the ball away from Jack Doyle. Michael Kelly is making the overlapping run, but Roberts feeds it inside to Alfie Beeston, who loses the ball, Scunthorpe United trying to win it back quickly off of Philliskirk. He flicks it back to Doyle, who eventually clears away. Header from Coogan towards the Port penalty area. And now it's picked up by Cian Scales, about 35 yards from goal. Scales back to the halfway line here with Will Evans. And Scunthorpe United go back to their goalkeeper, Ross Fitzsimons. I mean, that was some pass that Fitzsimons had to deal with there. It had an awful lot of zip on it from Will Evans. He did well to bring it under control firstly and then take it away from Prox, who was closing in. And the Iron do well. A nice interchange of passing, and they go back to Fitzsimons again. A much easier back pass on this occasion to deal with from Michael Kelly as Fitzsimons goes long. There's a header on from Ubazonu. Beeston will go and chase it down. He's about to make the run in behind, gambling on a mistake from Knight Percival. But Southport defend that particular situation, and they have possession with Quansah in defence, closed down by Ubazonu, so goes back to Renshaw. Alfie Beeston goes to press, but Southport beat it. Knight Percival didn't realise he had Alfie Beeston over his shoulder, and he's been robbed. Beeston into Ubazonu, pushed it back to Michael Clunan, hits it on the half volley on the swivel, well wide of the right hand post.
Yeah, Beeston done really well, tracked back, got great tackling, zipped out to Ubazonu. Again, it's bobbly, first touch let him down, and the pass to Michael Clunan was slightly behind him, and he tried to swivel and hit it and kind of got it all wrong really. And we speak about a bit of composure. It was a 3v2 situation there in Scunthorpe's favour. So just take your time and get that self-awareness and awareness around you, to take your time, get that composure. That could have been 3-0 up quite easily there.
Renshaw, left-footed goal kick from him. Proctor attempts to hold it up away from Maxime Coogan, but Scunthorpe United deal with it. Now Jack Doyle, sliced into the iron half. Moore attempts to bring it under control, but he's dispossessed by Ubazonu, who sends that ball to his left-hand side to Tyler Denton. Now Cian Scales, a foot comes in from behind from Sam Minahan to knock it out for a throw-in on the far side. And it's Will Evans in possession at the moment for the Iron. Plays it across defence again. That's another awkward pass for Maxime Coogan to deal with, but he does well to trap that in mid-air. Evans again here on the ball. Proctor in between the two centre-halves, so Evans has to go back to his goalkeeper, Ross Fitzsimons. Fitzsimons waits for Proctor to close in before knocking it to his right-hand side to Maxime Coogan. Coogan into Rowley on the halfway line. Back to Evans, just outside the centre circle. They send it left to Cian Scales, who kicks up a big puff of sand off the turf. Evans, forward ball, again gets caught in the wind above Glanford Park, so it's headed away by Doyle. The Iron onto it though. Kelly sends it into the penalty area. Clunan does well to just stop Karen Nichols from getting onto that pass.
I want to just keep the ball. We're 2-0 up. We're in the 44th minute of the first half. Just keep the ball. We don't need to smash it up there. Just keep it, maintain possession, draw the Southport players out. I know you're talking about at home and you want to keep going, but sometimes you just need to do that.
Denton, left-footed cross, blocked by Minahan. Danny Lloyd will pick it up inside the Southport penalty area. Minahan gets the clearance away, not too much distance on it though. Scales, flick back to Michael Clunan. That's Callum Roberts. Clunan again. The Iron forced back towards the centre circle, and now it's Evans on the halfway line, left of centre, into Tyler Denton. Denton inside to Beeston, 30 yards from goal, drives into the penalty area. Cross-come shot comes in. It'll be collected by Joe Rowley, right-hand side of the box. Rowley pulled back to Michael Clunan, edge of the penalty area. Probing, patient play here from Scunthorpe United. Clunan back to Joe Rowley down the right-hand side, tried to ping in a cross, which was blocked by Doyle. The Iron try again, 1 minute of additional time at the end of this first half.
Additional time sponsored by Jackson
Rowley.
Stapleton Accountants.
Back into the Iron half here to Will Evans. Now it's Cian Scales. Into Evans again. And Maxime Coogan. Half-time scores to come here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport, as well as reaction to Hull City's 1-0 defeat at home to Luton Town in the Championship with head coach Ruben Sayers. 30 seconds away from that. Maxime Coogan in possession here for Scunthorpe United to Beeston, tries to roll away from his marker Knight Percival. Ubazonu now holds it up away from Philliskirk. It's robbed by Moore, but Scunthorpe United onto the second ball here. Rowley slips it in behind for Roberts to run onto. From the byline, pulls it back. No one there in the claret and blue shirt. And Quansah picks it up on the edge of the penalty, on the edge of the 6-yard area. Somehow doesn't concede the corner, just a throw for the Iron in the end.
Yeah, that's when either Ubuzonu or Cian Scales could have made a break and got into the box there. Both of them kind of just stood on the edge of the box. If one of them just broke their neck, they may have got on the end of that cross from the right hand side.
Quansah in the end actually hadn't done enough to stop it from going out for a corner kick. There was no one around him. He really should have dealt with that cross better from the edge of his own 6-yard area, but he's given away the set piece opportunity for the Iron, and the referee's going to allow it to take place with 90 seconds of additional time played now. In comes the corner kick from the left towards the near post, headed behind goal, and Scunthorpe United won't get another dead ball delivery opportunity because Harry Jones blows his whistle, and that brings to an end a positive first half here at Glanford Park for Scunthorpe United. They lead Southport by 2-0. The goals coming from Cian Scales in the 11th minute and Carlton Ubuzonu in the 39th. Cian Scales just out of nothing really. Southport dispossessed over on the left-hand touchline. Callum Roberts onto it, pinged a pass into Cian Scales, who was bombing forward, made his way into the penalty area, cut it onto his right foot and tucked the ball home past Chris Renshaw. And again at Southport from their own throw for the second goal, dispossessed. The ball made its way to Joe Rowley down the right, who crossed in for Carlton Ubuzonu to finish. Scunthorpe United then leading Southport by 2-0. Your expert summariser Steve Torpey will deliver his first half thoughts.
Yeah, it was a standard performance. Southport haven't really offered much at all, so it's been relatively comfortable for Scunthorpe. Don't want them to get too complacent. We're speaking about this goal difference now where Kidderminster are kind of going toe to toe, so this could make a massive difference if they can come out of the second half and add a couple of 2 or 3 goals to the additional 2 they've scored in the first half. That could maybe make all the difference at the end of the season.
Second half commentary to come then on all BBC Radio Humberside frequencies, as well as online via BBC Sounds. We're going to hand you to Leo Jocelyn to take you through the half-time interval. But here at Glanford Park at the break, it's Scunthorpe United 2, Southport 0.
Thank you, Ollie. We'll be back for commentary of the second half shortly, but first, let's take a look at the scores from around the rest of the country. No Premier League matches today because it's an FA Cup weekend. In the quarter-finals, earlier it finished Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 3, and there's a late kick-off at 5:15 between Brighton and Hove Albion and Nottingham Forest. Let's look towards the rest of the scores then. There were 2 early kickoffs in the Championship. It finished Hull City 0, Luton Town 1 early here on BBC Radio Humberside. The other match between Watford and Plymouth Argyle was goalless. Half times in the Championship, it's currently Burnley 1, Bristol City 0. They're still playing at Cardiff. They are 1-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday. Leeds United are a goal up against Swansea City. It's Middlesbrough 0, Oxford United 1, Norwich City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0, Portsmouth 1, Blackburn Rovers 0, Stoke City 2, QPR 0, and Sunderland 1, Millwall 0. In League One, there are a pair of early kickoffs. Finished Charlton Athletic 4, Huddersfield Town 0, and Stockport County 2, Burton Albion 1. At half-time, it's Birmingham City 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Blackpool 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Mansfield Town 1, Cambridge United 0, Northampton Town 1, Exeter City 0, Wrexham 1, Reading 1, Peterborough United 0, Rotherham United 0, Crawley Town 1, Wigan Athletic 0, Barnsley 1, and Wycombe Wanderers 0, Lincoln City 0. 2 early kickoffs in League 2 as well. They finished Accrington Stanley 0, Bradford City 0, and Crewe Alexandra 0, Port Vale 1. Half times in League 2, it's currently goalless between Barrow and Chesterfield. It's Bromley 1, Salford City 2, Doncaster Rovers 1, Carlisle United 0, Harrogate Town 1, Gillingham 0, MK Dons 1, Fleetwood Town 1, Morecambe 1, Swindon Town 0, Stockport County 0, Notts County 1, and Walsall 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. Let's take a look at the National League North as well. It's currently Brackley Town 0, Scarborough Athletic 0, Chester 1, Curzon Ashton 1, Chorley 1, Spennymoor Town 0, Farsley Celtic 0, Hereford 1, Kidderminster Harriers 1, Peterborough Sports 0, Leamington 0, Kings Lynn Town 0, Marine 0, Alfreton Town 0, Needham Market 1, Buxton 1, Oxford City 0, Radcliffe 0, Rushall Olympic 0, South Shields 0. In our only 3 o'clock commentary today on all frequencies and BBC Sounds, Scunthorpe United 2-0 up at home to Southport, and it is currently Warrington Town 1, Darlington 2. So Hull City suffered what could be a damaging defeat in their battle to avoid relegation as they lost 1-0 against Luton Town in our earlier kick-off. Tigers head coach Ruben Sayers spoke to Mike White after the match.
Ruben, thanks for your time. Give us your reaction to that one first of all, please.
Well, we are disappointed with the score. But I think we can lose football matches, and it will happen. And it happened in our time here. I'm more disappointed in our reaction after the 1-0 down. I think it's an action that we can avoid, but things happen in football. But the reaction, it took just literally a lot of time, more than 30 minutes, for us to react to that goal and start to play and start to put the position under pressure. So I think we lost a little bit of our identity in those moments, and I'm disappointed because I expect my team, even if things happen in football, just to come back quick and be able to put a position in the back foot and put them under pressure a little bit more.
Can you put your finger on why they didn't respond the way you wanted them to?
No, I think the moment of the action is always key. So that kickoff, we knew that it was coming straight into those spaces. We didn't defend well. The first pressure, the second action in and around us, and then they were. I think it's always difficult. Obviously, if it's one player that get the ball down and put the ball in the net is one thing. When we get that kind of unfortunate situation, it just gets like a little bit of disappointment. And I think we felt it as a difficult situation to come back. We will analyze the whys, if it's some tactical positions that we can do better, if it's some kind of response from the psychological point of view or whatever it is, we will analyze. Right now, we just think that was that moment defined the game.
I think fans would would agree with you rather. It's a lucky goal, so that can happen. But you said about the response to that. Then, how disappointing is that response from your players?
Well, listen, it is disappointed, but at the same time, we play Oxford here. We were 1-0 down, and then we went up and scored 2 goals. And I expected that kind of response, not in terms of the goals, but just in terms of the play, of the way to play, or the way to do things. I think it's the end of the season. These situations happen, and then we need to learn how to live with that disappointment more often, and unfortunately it's a lesson that we learned today.
As you said, you'll go away, you'll look at it and you'll see if there's things you could have done differently, but in a situation like this, given everything that's at stake for this side, wouldn't you expect your players to be able to show a response regardless of what maybe you're asking them to do when they're out there on the field?
No, I don't think there is only a player's response. I think it's us as a team, us as a collective, doing things as I have said. I think it will be too easy now to point fingers in one to the other. We are a team, and when the situation doesn't go well, it's everyone. So I'm the first one that potentially can make the things better in those moments, maybe prepare the team even better for that kind of situation, create a different structure, or even as soon as we concede it, go and make some decisions a little bit quicker. So, you know me, I don't like to make excuses. I think it's for all of us, and it's for all of us. And yeah, it's the situation that we are in, but that situation has been there since we arrived. So that should be not a condition of stress or not stress. This is what it is. Everyone knows it, and we will stand up and fight to the next game and to move forward and then try to be as competitive as we can be.
What did you make of the first half performance?
I think the first half performance was more or less the game that we wanted. I think we play. I think they have that situation with Adebayo that hit the post because we were late in a couple of situations, but that was it really. And I think we control the game in possession. We find the second and the third man. We attack the spaces and create situations 3 against 3. We have situations in and around the box. Perhaps we can or we should finish one of them a little bit better. And I think the game was exactly what we planned.
What could your players have done more apart from putting it in the net, but getting in those situations, what did you feel your players could do more in that final third?
Well, I think the first one should be that when we have the position just to score that goal, I think it always helps. I think we were talking about our number 8 potentially going a little bit more inside the box to have one extra player for those crosses or situations, something that at the end we did. But literally not much more that to ask to the players.
Do you find it hard as a manager to comprehend such a drastic difference between that first half where you were playing how you wanted them to the way things panned out in that second half, how there's such a switch in it?
No, because I think there is a game that has a lot of games inside. Sometimes you play a fantastic first half and then the second half is horrible. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you are able to keep for 60-70 minutes, but in those 60-70 minutes things happen. And I think the episode with the goal really changed the dynamic of the game.
I know you spoke to me and we chatted before the game about you not wanting to big this up too much. It was just another game, but it was a significant one for many fans and for most fans looking at it, given Luton and where they are in the table. How damaging a defeat could this be with 7 games remaining?
Well, as I say, I respect everyone's opinions. I'm not interested in a lot of opinions. I'm interested to keep this thing forward. I think it's a game. I think we lost a game in 5. And I think the performance has been very competitive, and I'm not going to make it as big as you potentially want to make or somebody else. So we know where we are. We are going to continue fighting, competing, and then there is a game. We will just analyze the game. We will feel the pain a little bit, or we will feel the pain for the next couple of days, and then we will move forward and try to be our best.
I was going to say, is that the biggest thing you can take from this, that you have played well as a side in recent games and you've picked up some good results, that you class this as a setback even though there are only a few games remaining? Is that the biggest thing you can take from this?
For me the games are games, so it's just one game, and one game is not going to define me and it's not going to define my team.
Okay. You made 3 changes going into this one. Obviously you had Gustavo Puerta back. What was you thinking, what were you looking at with the changes, and what did you get from them, particularly first half? I know the second half's maybe harder to assess it.
Yeah, well, I think the first half our idea was clear to change into the full 4-3-3 formation, to apply early pressure into their centre backs, trying to remove any line of pass and to have 3 players in the middle of the pitch to control the second balls. I think we did it quite well in that first half. The idea to have Gustavo, he has been playing there consistently for us, creating situations, and Casey has been back in the last couple of games, making an impact from the bench. He was more than ready to play in and around 60 minutes, and our idea with that to try to play the game that we wanted to play, game in possession, game with energy, game with quality, and with the mentality of breaking the lines with players like Casey, and that's why we did it.
We spoke a lot about Joe Gelhardt, but that first half in particular, how pleased were you with what he was doing? He caused a lot of problems for Reece Burke. Were you thinking that was an area you could have a real success with? Yeah, and that was the idea, by putting Joe there and then moving Cal into the centre. They are mobile, we can use those situations, and I think those spaces, particularly in our left-hand side, we knew that we can just be a little bit more aggressive with a left-footed player, and with Joe just finding situations also to finish the action. And I think we were quite successful, as you say, in the first half. Joao Pedro obviously served his final game of his suspension back next week. You've done well with 2 games without him, not so much today. Obviously, how much will you welcome him back next week, then what he can bring you for the running? Absolutely, I think we need everyone. I think Joao has been consistent in his performance for this team, and even in the 3 games, he's a player that we missed in the pitch and off the pitch. And now that is gone, and then now we can hopefully count with him for the next for the games, all the games until the end of the season. I know you're a measured person, you always are. Are you not worried after that performance? Are you not concerned that is just a blip rather than anything else from your side? No, and as I say, I will not define myself with one game. Okay, I appreciate that. Final one, Charlie Hughes looked as though he was limping towards the end. I know it's early doors. Any word that he may have picked up? No, as far as I'm aware, nobody had anything from the game today that we need to be concerned about. Okay, thanks for your time, Ruben. Thank you.
Hello, Jericho Keys with you on BBC Radio Humberside, and tonight from 8 p.m, I'm going to bring you some of the best tunes made by East Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire musicians. We also have slow waltzing session.
Don't let me fall gently now, just let me down softly now, don't let me feel lonely now, let me feel all of the good in the world.
So to hear more from Slow Waltz and other East Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire based artists, join me from 8 p.m. tonight right here on BBC Radio Humberside.
Every game live. BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
Welcome back to BBC Radio Humberside Sport, coming live from Glanford Park. It's the second big match commentary of the afternoon. Earlier we heard Hull City lose by a solitary goal at home to Luton Town in a Championship relegation six-pointer. Here at Glanford Park, Scunthorpe United heading into the second half with a 2-goal lead at home to Southport in the National League North. And as things stand, they look to maintain their 2-point gap at the top of the National League North to Kidderminster Harriers. I should say, just an update to the half-time scores that were read out earlier. I think Brackley Town scored a very late first-half goal, so they are actually 1-0 up now at home to Scarborough Athletic, the third-place side. Chester, of course, in fourth, drawing 1-1 at home to Curzon Ashton. Both sets of players back out onto the field, including the officials, so we'll be back underway in a moment, but just to remind you of the lineups with no changes at the break. Scunthorpe United lineup with Ross Fitzsimons in goal, a back four of Michael Kelly, Maxime Coogan, Will Evans and Tyler Denton. In central midfield, it's Cian Scales, Joe Rowley and the captain Michael Clunan, although Clunan has more been shielding the defence with Rowley and Scales in front of him, and then the front three of Callum Roberts, Colton Ubazonu and Alfie Beeston. On the bench for Scunthorpe United, Andrew Boyce, Mason Campbell, Mark Beck, Joe Starbuck and Mo Federa. As for Southport, Chris Renshaw is their goalkeeper, the back four, Jack Doyle. Tom Moore looks to have dropped into defence and look like they're playing with a back three at the start of this second half, so I'm going to completely break off from that thought as Scunthorpe United through Carlton Ubazonu chase a long ball down, and Ubazonu's got there first down the left hand channel ahead of Quansah, rolls it back to Tyler Denton now into Scales to Ubazonu fires in the left footed cross, blocked by the back of Quansah, out for a throw in. Scunthorpe United starting this second half brightly. Denton into Alfie Beeston, forced out of the penalty area. Ubazonu picks it up, left edge at the box, cuts in on his right foot, feeds it into Alfie Beeston. Shot is blocked by Knight Percival and is deflected out for a corner kick.
Good play from Ubazonu, just kind of done a little bit of a body swerve, played it through the legs into Alfie Beeston. He strike really early, just got deflection out for a corner, but another good start from Scunthorpe, similar to the start of the game. A nice bright start.
The corner kick will be taken left-footed by Callum Roberts from the right-hand side. Coogan, Clunan, Evans all in the 6-yard area. It's swung in dangerously and it comes off the crossbar. Kept alive here by Maxime Coogan. Down the left-hand side, he's having his shirt pulled by Quansah. Gives it to Ubazonu, who tries to get past the centre half. Quansah clears away, not very far though. Coogan into Ubazonu. Now it's Scales, left-hand side of the penalty area. Drives towards the byline, slid across the face of goal. Picked up by Rowley. Knocks it back to Coogan here, who's really badly miscontrolled that. And that stalls Scunthorpe United's momentum. Shovelled forward by Tyler Denton. The ball flies up high into the air. It's lumped away by Philliskirk. Denton watches it come down, funnels it back into the Southport half, flicked on nicely by Callum Roberts. Just too much on that header for Joe Rowley to keep it alive, and it's out for a throw-in.
Yeah, really unlucky there with Roberts. Really whipped in for a corner ball. Keeper just seemed to get pinned and he couldn't get off the ground and just went over his head, floated over his head, and lucky for him it just kind of caught the bottom of the crossbar and went out to safety.
Denton with the forward pass. Alfie Beeston pushed it on first time. Cian Scales cuts inside onto his right foot. Scales over the crossbar. Brilliant start to this second half of Scunthorpe United, but still only 2 goals to the good.
Yeah, great energy around the place, and the players, Alfie Beeston and Cian Scales, kind of telepathic sense of kind of what they're both doing. He just didn't even look, Beeston, just threaded the ball into Beeston, into Cian Scales' path, and he's cut back onto his right foot. Really unlucky, took a shot just slightly over the crossbar, but great start for Scunthorpe.
Renshaw takes the goal kick, just about makes its way over the halfway line. Ubazonu is there, but he's dispossessed by Knight Percival. Launched forward from him, arms go up, but Danny Lloyd is offside, and eventually the flag does come up from the assistant referee on this near side, Wayne Cooper. The referee, by the way, Harry Jones, his other assistant, Joshua Bramwell. The fourth official is Joshua Howell. So it'll be a free kick for Scunthorpe United. As I say, it looks like Southport have shifted to a back three. Tom Moore has gone in on the left-hand side. Nathaniel Knight-Percival is the central of the three defenders, with Quance on the right. The two wing-backs are Jack Doyle and Sam Minahan. Looks like Curran Nichols and Phyllis Kirk are the two sitting midfielders, with Luke Burgess playing in behind the front two of Danny Lloyd and Jamie Proctor. On the bench for Southport, Matt Thompson, Owen Lunt, Dior Angus, Sonny Hilton and Connor Evans. Fired forward by the Southport goalkeeper Renshaw. The ball sliced up into the air by Burgess here. Lloyd tries to work it out wide to the left-hand side. Doyle forces it on to Lloyd, who's made the run down the channel. Skips away from Maxime Coogan. Heavy touch though. Pushes the ball out for a Scunthorpe United goal kick.
Yeah, that could play into Scunthorpe's favour, really. If they're free, they've got to think about both wide through with Alfie Beeston, who's on this left-hand side, and Cal Roberts on that right-hand side. You know, how are they going to deal with those? The two wing-backs, if they push on and leave these two isolated in a 2v2 or 3v3 situation, then, well, good luck to them. This could be another 3 or 4 goals this second half. It could have been 2 already.
Ross Fitzsimons leathers the goal kick into the Southport half. Quance with the header away, but only picks out Michael Kelly, who once again just rushes play. Tries to hit a half volley forward from inside the centre circle. Runs straight through to Chris Renshaw. Frantic start to this second half, not just in terms of the chances that the Iron have had, but the amount of people that heading back to their seats late from the hospitality area. 5 minutes gone in the second half and they finally sat down.
Having their prawn sandwiches, I think.
Danny Lloyd miscontrols. Probably sums up Southport's afternoon thus far. Gives the throw-in away back to Scunthorpe United. Still more are coming in the hospitality area. 5 minutes gone at the start of this second half. The Iron leading Southport by 2-0. Beeston does well to ride the challenge of Keenan Quance. The referee plays the advantage. Beeston still driving forward, sends it to the right hand side to Callum Roberts here. Roberts into Rowley, 30 yards from goal. Now it's Kelly who picks up the piece. He's on his left foot, urged to shoot, just dinks in the cross instead. Minahan with a deft header away. Clunan looks over, Denton rather, looks over his shoulders before letting the ball run out for a throw, which is taken. Scales, brilliant performance from him thus far, to Ubazonu. Drives it across the 6-yard area, but it's claimed by Renshaw.
Yeah, ball's actually sticking with Ubazonu now. Before first half, he's a little bit ricocheting, but now he's, I don't know if Andy Butler just said, tidy up your touch, and it's really nice tight control. His ball plays into the game, swiveled and just got a cross in there, just a little bit close to the keeper, but then you can build off him and get players running into the box. You know what you're going to get from him, and it's a lot better already this second half.
Of course, don't rule out Southport. They came from behind twice in that win at Hague Avenue over Scunthorpe United back in October. Were 1-0 and 2-1 down before they came back to win 3-2. I think thanks in large part to some terrible defensive blunders on that afternoon from the visitors. Ubazonu tries to bring a long forward ball under control, but it skims off the laces of his left boot and goes out for a Southport throw-in. Moore is going to take it, goes down the line on the Port left. Coogan wins a header but has taken out Proctor in the process. Southport free kick, and I think Andy Butler is going to be making an early change here. Mark Beck about to come on. Whether that will happen before the free kick takes place, who knows? I don't think it will, as the fourth official at the moment is still inputting Mark Beck's number into his LED board. So here comes the free kick. Jack Doyle fires it in from the left-hand side. Beeston defends it on the edge of his own box, and Tyler Denton will clear away. No one making a run down the left-hand channel to latch onto that forward ball. Callum Roberts was making a more central run. Southport have it back. Curran Nichols can't get the ball back to Luke Burgess. Scunthorpe United in possession inside the centre circle with Rowley. Plays it into the path of Michael Kelly. Forced wide to the right-hand touchline. Tries to dig out the pass down the line. It's knocked out by Jack Doyle for a throw-in, which Michael Kelly wanted to take quickly, with Callum Roberts making the run in behind, but the referee will stop that from happening to allow the substitution to take place. It's Alfie Beeston coming off for Mark Beck.
Yeah, it's probably, he has got a heavy strapping over his right knee, just below his bottom of his right thigh, but it's probably precautionary. Hopefully there's nothing too serious. It don't look like he's carrying anything, just precautionary with a 2-0 lead. Done really well, Beeston. It would be a big miss if he was out for any prolonged period of time now before the end of the season, so 2-0 up, quite comfortable. Why not bring him off?
Kelly, left-footed cross in from deep, chested back by Mark Beck nicely to Cian Scales. That gets a bit of an applause from the Donny Road end. Scunthorpe United attacking from right to left in this second half towards the Dre. Denton into Roberts, edge at the penalty area, thinks about pulling the trigger, instead feeds it back out wide to Uberzono on this left-hand side. Here is Cian Scales. Scales into Denton, flick back to Uberzono. Oh, his touch just let him down there as he made his way into the penalty area. Southport clear, but Scunthorpe United keep on coming. Denton flicked inside to Uberzono. Denton continues his run. Here he is, first time, left-footed cross. Knight Percival will head comfortably away. Who's on to the loose bouncing ball first? It's Will Evans. Pings it across to the right-hand side to Michael Kelly, urged to shoot again after his wonder goal here last weekend. His first since December 2023. Cross comes in from Callum Roberts from a more central position. Southport equal to it again as Jamie Proctor goes down in stages, but he was clipped by Cian Scales and eventually gets the free kick as he juggled the ball on the floor. 10 minutes gone in this second half on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Scunthorpe United 2, Southport 0. You can have your say on this game with Mike White up until 6 o'clock tonight by calling 08000 66 5959. Ball bouncing around in midfield, midway inside the Scunthorpe United half. Coogan hacks it away, now it's Scales. Pings it forward first time. Uberzono trying to get in front of Quansah, couldn't quite do so. Southport defend that situation. Renshaw clears away. Into the Scunthorpe United half the ball goes. Coogan rushes his pass. It's slammed in behind by Phyllis Kirk. Danny Lloyd couldn't go for it, he was coming from an offside position. And as Jack Doyle comes closing in, Ross Fitzsimons dummies, lets the ball run out for a goal kick. Sonny Hilton is going to be coming on for a moment for Southport. Former Fulham youngster, has experience of playing over in Scandinavia on loan at TPS. Joined in the summer having left Bootle. And Sonny Hilton will be about to come on in a few moments' time. But first, it's an iron goal kick. Sprayed upfield by Fitzsimons. Skims off the back of Curran Nichols' head. Minahan with a forward ball, which will be dealt with by a combination of Maxine Coogan and Ross Fitzsimons. It's going to be a double change in actual fact for Southport. Sonny Hilton will be coming on along with Owen Lunt, who is on loan at Southport. Ball goes straight out for a Southport goal kick. Here comes the change. Owen Lunt is coming on for Curran Nichols.
Is number 4, Owen Lunt.
And the other change that will be made, of course, we already know that Sonny Hilton is coming on, and he will be replacing Luke Burgess. So Burgess and Curran Nichols off, Lunt and Hilton on. Goal kick for Southport. Still they keep on coming from the hospitality area. Must be offering drinks or something for free in there, or something that I don't know about. Anyway, you've missed 12-13 minutes at the second half. I question the point, if I'm honest. Throw for Scunthorpe United, a couple of yards behind the halfway line on the right. Kelly forward down the line, looking for Mark Beck. Header away by Knight Percival. That's a straight out of play for another Scunthorpe United throw-in. Kelly feints to lob it back quickly to his goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons. It's from a pretty similar position again behind the halfway line. Goes into Joe Rowley. Here is Kelly on the ball, gets it onto his stronger left foot and directs it back to Ross Fitzsimons. He goes long, Beck's the target, flicks it on nicely. Callum Roberts making the run in behind. He claims there was a final Southport touch on the way through. I'm not seeing it, neither's the referee. Goal kick to Southport.
Yeah, I think that Roberts could have actually got on the end of that, and he kind of let it, rather than stretch and make a real good attempt to it, he's let it out. I didn't really see it either. I thought he'd just come off Beck's forehead and it's gone out for a goal kick now.
Renshaw with the goal kick, comes off the back of Proctor's head. Hilton will try and keep it alive over on that far side, but can't stop it from going out for a Scunthorpe United throw-in. Michael Kelly hurled into the feet of Mark Beck, who holds it up away from Moore and then is chopped down by Phyllis Kirk. Almost like a lumberjack. Gets the free kick. Phyllis Kirk being the lumberjack, of course, felling the tree that is Mark Beck, for clarity with that particular analogy. The free kick is floated in behind quickly, falls to Maxime Coogan, and that's a defender's finish on the half volley from 30 yards. Slams it over the crossbar.
Yeah, trying to keep the tempo going. They're trying to do things early, trying to do things with a little bit of tempo, but again, sometimes on that instance, Maxime Coogan just kind of fell to see his intentions, taken a touch, set up perfect, but probably not the technique, leaning back, the lace over his boot, all over the place. So that's probably why he's a centre half.
Cross comes in for Sonny Hilton for Southport. Big chance for Port in this second half, and unfortunately for Sonny Hilton and the visitors, the finish unconvincing. A comfortable save in the end for Ross Fitzsimons as the ball was rolled across from the left hand side. Southport will try again here with Lunt. Hilton is robbed, and now it's Scunthorpe United on the attack, but in turn Kean Scales can't keep it for long. Hilton back into the heart of defence here with Knight Percival as Beck nibbling away at his heels. It's sent over the top. Danny Lloyd will chase it down, but Ross Fitzsimons clears from just outside of his own penalty area. Hooked up into the air by Denton. Knight Percival with the header away. Then Clunan launches it skywards. Beck heads on, miscontrolled by Moore. Callum Roberts can't get there though. Moore is trying to get enough room to get the clearance away, but instead just regains his composure and plays a short pass to his right hand side to Knight Percival. Now it's Quansah bringing the ball out from the back, but really awkwardly bobbled up in front of him off a particularly muddy area of the field, and he's put that out for a throw into Scunthorpe United.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate from Quasi. He kind of just looked up, was just about to play the pass, just massive bobble, it come off his shin and went out of play, but that's what you're dealing with this pitch. It's not fantastic for both teams.
Just 2 games left here at Glanford Park this season after this one, at home to Spennymoor Town in a fortnight's time, and then the Iron host Peterborough Sports on Easter Monday. That is of course providing that the Iron win the title and don't have to navigate the playoffs once again. Uberzono had quite a large handful of Quansah's shirt there. Play continues. Lunt forward. Lloyd is trying to make those ghosting runs in behind, but the passes aren't matching those runs. Lunt this time trying to slip it behind the Iron back line, but it's dealt with by Fitzsimons, who just rolls the ball out inside his own penalty area. Proctor watches on from a good 10 yards away as it's arrowed upfield by Fitzsimons, allowed to bounce behind the Southport back line. Uberzono onto it, left hand side of the penalty area, onto his right foot. Shots blocked by Quansah. The attack will be kept alive here by Callum Roberts, will it? Well, somewhat. He lets the ball bounce out for a throw-in, but it's still high up the park. Kelly will preside over this throw, almost level with the Southport penalty area, tried to hurl it into the box optimistically. Southport equal to it. Hilton juggles it over the top of Maxime Coogan's head and then away from Kean Scales. Now it's Minahan on the halfway line. Into Hilton, right of centre. Minahan tries to nutmeg Tyler Denton and that pass doesn't come off. Denton urged to attack quickly. Switches play from right to left, but it's an awkward ball. It was bang in front of Callum Roberts at an awkward height. He just tried to head it down into the ground to bring it under control, but it didn't come off, and it's the Southport throw midway inside their own half.
Yeah, maybe could have come quite quickly to him. Could have maybe just adjusted his body side on and just took on his chest rather than kind of a flat surface with his head. See what he's trying to do, but again, this pitch it does get worse. So talk about only 2 games. I bet you the players can't wait to see the back of this pitch.
Andy Butler is going to be making another change in a moment. But Southport have got themselves a free kick here over on the far side, and they'll send bodies forward again. Tom Moore is going up from the back, as is Keenan Quansah and Nathaniel Knight-Percival. Mo Federa waiting to come on, and I can tell you that he will be coming on for Callum Roberts in a moment, who's standing on the halfway line. Free kick driven in by Doyle, flapped at by Fitzsimons, but Tyler Denton will hook it away. Bounces once. Callum Roberts tried to flick it inside. Denton hoists it into the Southport half. Minahan clears away on the half volley. Denton onto that ball. Inside to Michael Clunan. Now it's Maxime Coogan in the centre circle. Scunthorpe United skipper gets the ball back. Roberts now wide to the left here to Tyler Denton. The iron operating inside Southport territory. Ubazonu gets one-on-one with Quansah. Fires in the cross. Knight-Percival there to boot the ball high up into the air. Clunan flicks it back to Tyler Denton, knocks it over the head of Danny Lloyd to Maxime Coogan, and now Philliskirk will funnel it over to the left for Proctor to run onto. Southport trying to push bodies forward here. Lloyd hooks it across the face of goal. No one really there in the Southport shirt to latch onto it in the old gold, and Scunthorpe United see that situation out comfortably. Ubazonu on halfway, back to Tyler Denton. Southport, of course, in those old gold shirts with black sleeves, black shorts, black socks, attacking from left to right towards the south stand, towards their own supporters who have made the trip from Merseyside. Scunthorpe United in the traditional claret and blue striped shirts, blue shorts with claret trim, blue socks. Kelly into Maxime Coogan. 65 minutes gone in this game. Scunthorpe United still leading Southport by 2-0. That's a wayward pass from Maxime Coogan, and that will allow the substitution to be made. And as expected, Mo Federa comes on for Callum Roberts. Gets a decent applause here, does Callum Roberts. Perhaps could have gone off on the far side. The referee's let it go. He's realised that there perhaps isn't a great deal of urgency in this game at this stage.
Yeah, he's done all right, Roberts. He's had a couple of little glimpses throughout the game. You can't expect him to perform at the high levels that we come to expect every week in, week out, but great substitution from Mo Federa if he can have the impact that he did last week. And he's done that 3 times off the bench. I think he scored 3 goals coming off the bench. So he's definitely an impactful player and someone that Southport will definitely worry about coming on for the last 20-25 minutes or so.
Yeah, Mo Federa, who scored the 3rd and final goal last weekend to put Chester to the sword. Steve Torpey correctly saying there that all 3 of his goals have come off the bench. Away at Warrington Town and at home to Curzon Ashton, a vital stoppage time equaliser in that one last month. And here is Mo Federa twisting and turning away from his man Adam Lunt, and it was always Owen Lunt rather, and almost was a brilliant pass in behind for Ubazonu to run onto. Cut out in the end by that Southport defence, and it goes out for a throw to the visitors. Matt Thompson is going to be coming on along with Dior Angus for the Sandgrounders. Southport have the ball with their captain Philliskirk. He's dispossessed on the halfway line, and the Irons stream forward here. Scales up the through ball, too much onto it. Mo Federa was probably too far out wide anyway to try and glide inside to latch onto it. And Chris Renshaw is there to clear away. Rowley brings the ball down in midfield, midway inside his own half. Not back to Tyler Denton. Awkward pass to deal with Sam Minahan closing in, but he gets it to Mo Federa, who flicks it down the left wing to Rowley. Looks over his shoulder to see where Knight-Percival is. Rowley thinks about heading back towards the halfway line. Is dragged down by Minahan. Gets the free kick.
Yeah, just in that instance, mate, just give it to Mo Fodera. If that's what he loves, give it to his feet. Even in a 1v1 situation, he can rip these defenders to pieces. Just try to be too accurate there, Scowls, and it was a real kind of threading it through the eye of a needle, so to speak. Too accurate, or trying to be too accurate. Just give it to his feet and let him do his bit.
Free kick, 5 yards in front of the left-hand touchline for Michael Clunan to take. It's probably just about midway inside Southport territory. Right-footed, swung in, headed on by Maxime Coogan. Who will it fall to? Ubazonu slides down onto the turf but keeps the ball alive. Clunan back to Michael Kelly, gets onto his left foot and then whips out wide here to Mo Fodera on the left. One-on-one with Lunt. Tries to get it onto his left foot, but Lunt stands his ground, attempting to shepherd it out, and Lunt has done well there, succeeds in doing so. Still had a lot of ground to cover there to let the ball roll out for a goal kick, but it does, and now those changes will come in the 70th minute. Sam Minahan is one of the two players to make way. Matt Thompson coming on, and Dior Angus will be replacing. Just wait for the LED board to be prepared for this second substitution. Dior Angus coming on for Jamie Proctor.
11 Dior Angus. Substitution sponsored by Jackson Stapleton and Councils.
Goal kick for Southport in the meantime. Renshaw will take it in front of the Donny Road end to our left-hand side. Left-footed, it just about sails into Scunthorpe United territory. Michael Kelly leaps like a salmon but completely misses his cue. And Southport have the ball out wide on the left with Sonny Hilton. Now it's Moore under pressure from Ubazonu, knocks it back to Chris Renshaw. Heavy first touch on the edge of his D, forces him to clear away on the half volley. Michael Clunan is bundled over from behind by Phyllis Kirk. Free kick which is taken. Tyler Denton on halfway, left of centre into Mo Fodera. Tries a flick to take the ball past Thompson. His first touch is to defend that situation, which he does. Just to skim the ball forward down the right-hand touchline, but it's gone straight out for a Scunthorpe United throw. 20 minutes of normal time left at the end of this second half. The Irons still leading Southport by 2-0.
You've not been great deal of chances after the first 2 or 3 minutes of this second half, where the bar and Kinscales had a good opportunity, but apart from that it's been relatively low key on both teams' chances this second half.
Brackley Town still 1-0 up at home to Scarborough Athletic in third. Chester 1, Curzon Ashton 1. Scales feeds it into Ubazonu, but the flag's up. It won't count, and I don't think Ubazonu has seen the flag yet. He does now. Oh, he had the big knee slide and everything, hands to his ears, the lot. No one celebrating with him, and then he looks over to the far side to see the flags up. Still 2-0.
He must have been the only person in the stadium who didn't realise. We was in line with it. You could see he was 2 yards offside. Great finish, by the way, with his right foot. But yeah, he was away. He was in the zone, as they say, and someone had to just kind of pull him back to reality, and he was offside.
Brilliant finish, to be fair.
Great
That's
finish.
what we've wanted to see from Ubazonu. It was a clinical, right-footed curling effort from inside the box. Brilliant touch here from Mark Beck. Dips it over the top. Ubazonu, right-hand side of the penalty area. One-on-one with Moore. Pulls it back to Michael Kelly. Urged to shoot. Does shoot. But he just received the ball really awkwardly, where he was leaning back already and he had a player rushing towards him, so he knew he had to hit it first time, and he's just got his foot right underneath it and it flies over the crossbar.
Yeah, and to be critical of Kelly, he kind of done that on a few occasions. He's made his mind up before the balls actually come, and sometimes you have to change at the last minute, and if he had taken a touch he probably could have had enough time to reposition himself to get a little bit more accuracy and quality on the shot. He kind of just made his mind up well before the ball's actually played back. Pretty few decisions that he's done that this afternoon. Just maybe he's getting back into the game, and this is his second game. Sometimes the first game adrenaline on Saturday, then you kind of plateau a little bit, and he's done that a little bit this afternoon.
Here is Kelly. Just marshals the ball out for a throw-in for his side. midway inside Scunthorpe United territory on the right, in front of the east stand opposite us here at Glanford Park. Kelly taking his time over the throw-in, but will eventually stride forward and hurl it down the right-hand channel. Does well to find Ubazonu. Ubazonu flicks it back into the centre circle here to Tyler Denton as he smashes that forward on the half volley to Federa. Circles away from Thompson. Knocked back to Kean Scales, 30 yards from goal. Here is Federa again, and he just didn't see Lunt over his shoulder. But Southport unconvincingly don't clear too far away. Kelly on the ball for the iron. Now it's Clunan inside the centre circle. They work it over to the left again here with Tyler Denton. Looks up, hammers in the cross. Hasn't got the bend on it that he would have wanted. And Chris Renshaw watches that go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, cross from quite deep there. So you need to try and hit in areas kind of leant back and well over the crossbar, just kind of outside of the goal frame there.
The goal kick will again be taken by Chris Renshaw. Southport have not created much in this game. They had that Sonny Hilton chance a few moments ago where he failed to apply the finish from the cross from the left-hand side. They've been looking for those balls into the channels for Danny Lloyd to run onto, but it's not been working out thus far. We've got a throw in here on their left of the visitors. Jack Doyle lobs it back to Moore. Moore pirouettes away from Colton Ubazonu. Moore tried to slam it into the path of Dior Angus. The iron equal to that, just lump it away. Mark Beck, the low man forward, will go and chase it down. Chris Renshaw's forced out of his penalty area to boot it back up the field, but he's put it straight into touch, and it's an iron throw-in. Michael Kelly will take it again.
Yeah, substitutions hasn't really made the impact that Southport would have liked. They've not really had that. It's kind of a team that have settled for staying up, see the season out, and try and build on for next season. I guess that's the way it's coming across with their performance, especially the second half.
Yeah, at the moment they will still be 11 points clear of the bottom four. Needham Market occupy the fourth and final relegation spot. They're on 36 points. Southport on 47 in 18th. Cross comes in from the right-hand side from Michael Kelly. Mark Beck went down, unconvincing header away. Moped Federa picks it up in the box. Left-hand side, gets it onto his right foot. Saved by Renshaw, and he palms away the rebound as well. Brilliant double save that from Renshaw. Perhaps the first was more regulation, but the ball ballooned back towards him, and he had to claw it away. Scunthorpe United still going in search of a third goal in this second half. Michael Kelly, though, has hacked down Danny Philliskirk and concedes the free kick.
Yeah, great goalkeeping. He was kind of first one, ricochet, done really well. What you don't want to do is face Mo Federa 1v1 in around the 6-yard box. You know you're in for trouble. He got his shot away, and then he ricocheted to Ubazonu, and it kind of just come off his knee, I think, but he had one hand on the floor and he just palmed it with the other hand. So real good goalkeeping from the Southport number one.
Southport here on the attack. It's clipped over the top by Sonny Hilton, looking for Dior Angus. The ball will be collected by Jack Doyle. Lloyd tried to knock it in behind for Angus to run onto. He miscontrols, goes out for a Scunthorpe United goal kick. And Ross Fitzsimons can take as long as he wants here to place the ball down. Well, obviously he can't, because he'll get booked if he time wastes, but the referee is in no hurry to try and speed up the play for the goal kick to be taken. It's short to Maxime Coogan, gives it back to Fitzsimons, who goes along. Moore wins his header from behind. Mark Beck. Scunthorpe United onto the second ball, though. Sent out wide by Michael Kelly into Ubazonu. Here is Kelly on the ball again. Dior Angus clipping at his heels, and Angus gets the final touch on it. Scunthorpe United throw in. Kelly from the throw to Ubazonu, looks up, tries to switch play from right to left. Too much on that. Tyler Denton won't be able to stop it from going out for a Southport throw. I have to say, fair play to the travelling Southport fans in the south stand to our right hand side. They're still making a bit of a racket here at Glanford Park. They've brought a drummer with them as well, which is helping out, as Owen Lunt is fouled right of centre inside the Southport half. Free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, you're right, they're having a real good afternoon. Scoreline not great for them, but they're clapping, they're singing. jumping around each other and having a go. I don't know how many there'd be, probably about 60, 70, I'll say, a push.
Quansah arrows it forward from the free kick. It's brought down inside the Scunthorpe United penalty area by Lloyd. Philliskirk now into Doyle. Fizzes in the cross. It's defended well at the near post by Michael Clunan, who clears away. Scunthorpe United trying to halt the ball up on the halfway line. Mark Becker's lost out on that one. Renshaw from his own penalty area clears. Clunan tries to drive it into space for Federa to run onto. Not quite enough on it. Southport making a hash of bringing it away. Lunt, wayward pass intercepted by Denton. Now it's Scales on the halfway line. Flicked back to Clunan. Did well to wriggle free of a couple of Southport players in the form of Danny Lloyd and Dior Angus. Clunan wide to the right. Ubazonu stands up his man Moore onto his left foot, floats in the cross towards the back post. Thompson with the header away, trapped by Federa inside the Southport box. Pulls it back to Scales. Now Denton. Scales again, heavy touch from him. Keeps it moving though. Denton, who's pinned back towards the left-hand touchline, tries to knock it back inside, looking for Michael Clunan. Philliskirk is there first. Hilton clears away. Evans, slightly wayward header, but Michael Kelly recovers the situation. 1-2 between him and Ross Fitzsimons. Back into the iron penalty area with the Scunthorpe United number 1. Pumped forward, right-footed. Mike Percival, uncontested, heads it back into the Scunthorpe United half, and then he gets onto the ball again. Philliskirk keeps it away from Joe Rowley. Launched forward by Knight Percival. Evans is there first, head of Lloyd. And he's put that out of Glanford Park under pressure. Southport throw.
Yeah, we touch on the previous fixture when they played Southport away and the 3 mistakes. I just had a look at my nose before I come this afternoon, and that's what they've really done well over the last kind of 2 to 3 months, where they've really eradicated all those kind of mistakes or poor mistakes that have been so costly. I can't remember the last but making some kind of elementary mistakes that have been so costly throughout the season. They've not done that over the last 7, 8, 9 weeks.
Long throw into the Scunthorpe United penalty area. Scales with the clearance. Second phase of this attack now for the Sandgrounders. Jack Doyle over on the left, fed into Lunt. Now back to Doyle. Here is Moore. A good 40 yards from goal at the moment, left to centre. Out wide again to Doyle. Crosses him on his weaker right foot. Evans is there first. Scales tries to clear, but it's blocked on the edge of his own penalty area. Philliskirk with the effort on the swivel. He's claiming it took a deflection on the way through. Referee disagrees, just a goal kick. If you missed it, the attendance, by the way, before I let Steve Torpey take the floor, 4,272 with 75 travelling Southport supporters. Hopefully that attendance has been boosted by the offer the club ran in solidarity with steel workers affected by the news of a potential closure of the town's 2 blast furnaces. They've offered reduced £10 tickets to anyone who's a British Steel employee in Scunthorpe. Steve Torpey.
No, I was just going to say Philliskirk there. Scunthorpe have got to be a little bit careful. It was a long range shot, probably about 25 yards out, but it just pivoted and swivelled and shot. But could have had the beating of Fitzsimons if it was on target, but it wasn't. It was iron wide, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, fair enough. We'll move swiftly on.
Buts and maybes, eh?
Maxime Coogan shovels it forward, allowed to bounce once again by the Southport defence. Ubazonu collects inside the box, but just couldn't keep it away from Knight Percival. And Southport, from just in front of their own dead ball line, clear away through Moore, who's looking for Sonny Hilton. Scunthorpe United get there first, but Southport win it straight back. They've got themselves a throw in midway inside their own half. No chance of Kidderminster Harriers slipping up this afternoon. They've surged into a 3-0 lead at home to Peterborough Sports. Brackley Town in third, still 1-0 up at home to Scarborough Athletic, and it's still 1-1 between Chester in fourth and Curzon Ashton. Scales 30 yards out, tried to weave it in behind for the late bombing run of Tyler Denton. Southport cut it out, but Will Evans striding out from the back, keeps the iron on the front foot, down the left hand channel, gives it to Tyler Denton. Denton, back to Federa. 3 Southport players closing on him. Tries to give it to Kean Scales. Here is Scales from the beautiful back heel from Tyler Denton. Scales onto his right foot, crosses in, balloons off the shin of Colton Ubazonu. Ubazonu into Scales in the D, shoots, ballooned up in front of him, fired it towards goal on the half volley, but it's wide of the left-hand post. 83 minutes played here at Glanford Park on BBC Radio Humberside Sports. Still the scoreline: Scunthorpe United 2, Southport 0. Of course, we should say that Kidderminster Harriers will now, of course, have the better goal difference now.
Yeah, which
still by 1.
Crucial. Yeah, it could be crucial.
By 2 now, actually, wouldn't it?
By 2, yeah.
Crenshaw from the goal kick. Evans wins his header. Was always likely, competing with Danny Lloyd, who's a much more diminutive figure. Crenshaw will try again. Long, arrowing ball down the centre of the park. Maxine Coogan deals with it. Kean Scales knocks it back to Tyler Denton. Denton with the diagonal from left to right. Mark Beck goes down, and the referee has decided that he got a push in the back from Nathaniel Knight-Percival. Free kick to the iron, pretty central area of the park, 10 yards in front of the centre circle.
Yeah, if Scunthorpe we just get another goal, hopefully we won't go to that situation, but if it does, that goal difference, I know you say you've still got 5 games to play after today, but that can make a massive difference.
Joe Starbuck will be coming on shortly. Michael Clunan will take the free kick. He's being left to it by Michael Kelly. A loose one-man wall of Sonny Hilton. Floated in, right-footed by Clunan. Evans was making the late run, but was just barged off of it by Keenan Kwanzaa, and Evans has had an awkward collision with the post, maybe, from the looks of it. He's stayed down at the moment. Referee Harry Jones will go and check on him. The physios are ready as well if they're needed to come on. But Will Evans is hauled back up onto his feet by his iron teammate Mo Federa, and the goal kick will be taken shortly, but I think the substitution will be allowed to take place first. In the 86th minute, it's Colton Ubazonu coming off to be replaced by Joe Starbuck.
Yeah, been really impressive. He's worked his socks off, he's scored his goal. Maybe on another day could have had another 1 or 2, but getting that confidence, you can see his confidence. Unlucky with the offside one, just strayed a yard or 2 offside, but a fine finish with his right foot. You can just see that confidence growing game by game, and that's good news for Andy Butler. He's got those options while Danny Whitehall's still out, obviously injured.
Renshaw with the goal kick for Southport. Here is Moore. Mark Beck gets his body in the way of Moore and the ball and wins it back for the iron. They're forced back towards their own penalty area though, with Fitzsimons. He fizzes it into Southport territory. It's picked up by Kwanzaa, looking for Danny Lloyd. Maxine Coogan sees him off. Denton lumped up into the air, into the Southport half again. Kwanzaa heads away. Denton onto it. Flicks it out wide to the left to Federa here. Brings it under control well by the left-hand touchline. Pirouetting away from Thompson. Now it's Beck. Back for Federa, just too much on that pass. Thompson will get there first. Here's Kwanzaa, delays the clearance and he's robbed by Federa. Federa hits the post. Should have been 3. Another mistake by that Southport defence, and they're lucky that the scoreline stays at only 2.
Yeah, it was a real tight angle, weren't it? But I thought he'd done enough. It just come off the side, the inside of the outside of the post, and ricocheted out. It was a tight angle. I didn't know if he was going to square it, but he was in his own right to create it himself, and he's in his own right to have a go there. But I don't know if it was too acute angle for it to hit the back of the net. But good play from Federa.
More changes about to be made. A 5th and final substitution from a Southport perspective. Connor Evans is coming on for Danny Lloyd in the 88th minute. You'd expect that this would be Scunthorpe United's final substitution, but you can't rule out Andy Butler bringing on Mason Campbell for a final few minutes. But it's going to be Andrew Boyce who will come on as a like-for-like change at the back for Will Evans.
Substitution replacing number 5, Will Evans, sponsored by Power Finance and Frizzy Red Family.
Yeah, he's not taking any chances, just kind of, I don't know if he fell into the post or is a coming together of him and the defender. He may have fell a little bit awkwardly on his shoulder, but taking no
substitution sponsored
on a precautionary note, just taking him off the last few minutes.
Into the final 2 minutes of normal time then. Scunthorpe United still trying to find that third goal here. They've had several chances to put Southport away in terms of the scoreline. The Sandgrounders clear upfield. Andrew Boyce's first action is to nod a bouncing ball back to his goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons, with the other fresh substitute for Southport, Connor Evans, over his shoulder. Fitzsimons picks out Tyler Denton on the left into Mark Beck, flicks it on for the run of Kean Scales, but Phyllis Kirk is there first to boot it away. Boyce just hammers that into the face of Connor Evans. Be dealt with though by Tyler Denton. Back into the iron penalty area for Fitzsimons to boot away. Beck flicks on Federa with the run in behind. Has ghosted in past Thompson into the penalty area, onto his right foot. Still Federa, kept out again by Renshaw. Still alive here. Clunan into Michael Kelly. Kelly, not quite sure that was the destination that he intended, but he finds a teammate on the volley in Tyler Denton. Federa being urged on again here. He's clearly got the edge on Thompson. 3 players onto him. Still Federa, kept out again by Renshaw. What has Mo Federa got to do to score here?
Unbelievable. As soon as he's come on, could have scored an hat-trick, believe it or not. He's only been on the field for about 15 or 20 minutes. But I feel sorry for the number 2, Thompson. He's just come off the bench and he's been run ragged these last 5-10 minutes. And apart from the goalkeeper, he's probably gone down as man of the match for Southport. Made 3 or 4 great saves this second half.
Put 3 players on Mo Federa there, didn't Southport? They realised that Thompson was not doing well to keep him out, and Federa still got the shot away. Chris Renshaw doing well to keep the scoreline at just 2-0 here, as we're about to see how many minutes are going to be added on. Just 3 as Joe Rowley's bundled over. Advantage given. Federa punched away by Renshaw. What's the referee decided on here? The flag was up anyway against Federa, offside. So free kick to Southport, 3 minutes of additional time.
Definitely adds a bit of excitement when he comes on. You know, to see the fans and the crowd really get off their seats and really get excited in those 1v1 situations. He'll be pretty disappointed that he's not converting one of these chances, but hey, great goalkeeping.
The Iron Barman of the match is number 5, Will Evans.
Will Evans named as the Iron Bars man of the match. I'm pretty sure I just heard that Michael Clunan has been named as the sponsors man of the match. And at the moment, Scunthorpe United heading towards a 12th game unbeaten here at Glanford Park. Federa digs out the pass from the left-hand touchline, was looking for the run of Kean Scales. Southport cut it out. Evans back to Lunt. Lunt now to Thompson, as one Iron fan is telling us that Mo Federa should have had a hat-trick.
Just add to the players, I think Kean Scales has been excellent, and Joe Rowley as well, been excellent at midfield. Really kind of that energy, that forward thinking on their front foot, been outstanding, those 3 midfield players as well as the other players, but those kind of 2 especially have stood out for me.
I think for me, Steve, it's one of those games where even if you may feel a touch aggrieved that the Iron haven't won by a larger margin, every player out there has probably had at least a 7 out of 10 performance. Yeah,
you're spot on. No one's been under par at all. Everyone's played their part. 1 or 2's just slightly above the others.
Here's Mo Federa again. You can hear the crowd light up when he gets on the ball. Federa into Beck. Beck onto his left foot. Perhaps one touch too many. Eventually pulls the trigger. Rolls it across the 6-yard area. No one to tap it home. Clunan urged to shoot. Goes down. Rowley, 20 yards from goal. Fires it. But it's blocked. Now it's Starbuck. Stands up the cross. Beck is there. Beck, can he bring it under control? No, he can't. And Southport will bring it away with Lunt, who clears but only finds Tyler Denton into the final minute of additional time. Scunthorpe United 2, Southport 0. Scales keeps it away from Lunt, flicks it back to Rowley midway inside the Southport half. Now it's Starbuck into Kelly. Kelly looks up, still going, does shoot, left footed, high and wide.
Of course, Southport were just can't wait for this final whistle to go. What an absolute bombardment of pressure they've had to endure for the last 10 minutes of this game. They've done well to keep the scoreline 2-0, but a little bit fortuitous with a couple of opportunities coming off the bar and the post as well.
Quansah with an agricultural ball over the top will be caught by Ross Fitzsimons with Connor Evans closing in. We have now played all 3 minutes of additional time. The referee brings his whistle to his lips, and it's another victory for Scunthorpe United as part of their National League North title tilt. They stay top of the table going into the final month of the campaign. 5 games to go. They stay 2 points clear of Kidderminster Harriers in second. Brackley Town and Chester will remain behind in the chasing pack, but the Iron have done their job this afternoon at Glanford Park. After a difficult week off the field, they've beaten Southport by 2-0. All the damage done in the first half. The opening goal coming through Cian Scales, who was played in by Callum Roberts after he dispossessed Keenan Quansah on the left-hand touchline. Scales cutting onto his right foot inside the penalty area and beating the on-rushing Chris Renshaw. The second goal through Carlton Ubazonu, another Southport mistake which was capitalised on by the Iron. The ball made its way to Joe Rowley down the right-hand channel. He delivered the cross, which wasn't dealt with by the Sandgrounders defenders, and there was Carlton Ubazonu to roll the ball home. In truth, perhaps the Iron should have won this game by a bigger margin. Mo Federa could have had a hat-trick on the other day. He was kept out on a number of occasions by Chris Renshaw. Ubazonu also had a goal chalked off for offside. But the main thing is that Scunthorpe United have won. They've beaten Southport by 2-0. Steve Torpey.
Yeah, probably apart from a 10 or 15 minute spell in the first half where Southport had a bit of possession, created 1 or 2 half chances. Scunthorpe really comfortable and dominated this game. As I say, last 20 minutes of the game, it was just one-way traffic. It was chance after chance after chance. Great save. Hit the post, hit the crossbar. Just couldn't force that third goal. But before the game, someone asked me what the score would be, and I just said it would be 2-0. And funny enough, it was 2-0. I don't often get it right, but this afternoon, such a dominant performance for Scunthorpe. Something to build on. Nice week to recuperate. I look forward to Ratcliffe next week.
Steve Torpey building himself up in the commentary, having earlier said during that second half that he didn't know what he was talking about. We'll have more thoughts from him in our post-match reaction programme here on BBC Radio Humberside Sports up until 6 o'clock. You can have your say. Talk to Mike White by calling 08000 66 5959. The text number is 81333. Start your message with the letters RH. At Humberside Sports on X. Our WhatsApp number is 08000 321 333. And the email address humberside.sport@bbc.co.uk. The Iron stay 2 points clear of Kidderminster Harriers at the top of the National League North because they've beaten Southport here at Glanford Park by 2-0.
And you've got plenty of time to have your say. I'm just saying off air in the studio, I'm not sure the last time any game finished on a Saturday at 10 to 5. So you have got just over an hour and 5 minutes to talk about your team, particularly Scunthorpe United fans, as our most recent game. A 2-0 win that keeps you top of the National League North table, and it was an important one as well because the teams chasing them behind Scunthorpe United have won as well. Kidderminster Harriers still waiting for confirmation of that one. They're 3-0 up against Peterborough Sports. Brackley leading Scarborough by 1-0 as well. So it is all still tight at the top of the National League North table. We'll go back to Steve Torpey in a second. We'll chat to him and maybe Ollie Turner as well. He'll be getting ready as well to chat to Andy Butler. But you can give us your thoughts about that win this afternoon. How impressive was it? Give us a view. 81333 is the text message number. Put RH at the start of your message. We've got the post-match reaction to come from 5 o'clock. Also, to defeat for Hull City this afternoon. Beaten by 1-0 at home to Luton Town, a relegation rival. And results not exactly helping City either in the Championship in the 3 o'clock games. Derby don't play until Wednesday, but you look at some of the other teams around them. Cardiff, in the end, they were leading, have been held to a 1-1 draw by Sheffield Wednesday. That does help City, but Stoke City are beating QPR by 3-1. The way it leaves it right now is due to Cardiff only drawing. That means even if Derby win on Wednesday against Preston, then City won't drop into the bottom 3 at one stage. It looked like they could do. So 2 games to talk about today. We had the win for Grimsby Town last night. Lots to discuss, but focus very much as Iron fans will be leaving Glanford Park this afternoon. We want your thoughts on that one. How impressed were you? 2 goals as well. Scales and Ubazonu. Good to see him get on the score sheet again. 81333 is the text message number. Put RH at the start of your message. 08000 665959. Let's go back and have a chat with Steve Thorpe. He's had a couple of minutes to catch his breath. Torps, when you're looking at the other results, important for the Iron to get that one and just keep that distance.
Yeah, afternoon, Mike. Yeah, it's a resounding result and the performance, really. But like you say, they're going toe-to-toe, these 3 teams, and it's looking like it's going to go all the way.
It's a real battle, isn't it? The goal difference as well now. Kidderminster, with them scoring 3 today, they've gone, as you mentioned, you and Ollie, heard you talking about it, a couple of goals better now on the goal difference. So that's you wonder if that's then going to become a factor, don't you?
You do, because this afternoon, literally, they could have had another 3, if not 4 goals. Some combination of probably near misses, good goalkeeping, lick of paint that could prove costly. Hopefully it won't be. Hopefully Scunthorpe will do it on the points and won't have to rely on the goal difference.
It'll just frustrate Scunny a little bit. Fans might look, and it's difficult talking about frustration on a day where they've won again, but you look back at that game against Kidderminster last week and what might have been, we could have been talking about a completely different scenario right now.
Yeah, that could make all the difference. They're on a real rich vein of form. Kidderminster, they've got a bit between their teeth. They're chasing Scunthorpe. They're going toe to toe. So it's a real interesting. I know they've got some tough games as well. So yeah. I always said about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said if they can average on kind of 2 points per game, then I don't think they'd be too far off. I think that would be enough. But I don't know. Kidderminster don't look like they're going to slip up. Scunthorpe didn't look like they're going to slip up. So every game becomes vital now.
That's the big thing. It's who blinks first now, isn't it? With these 2 particularly.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm looking at the Scunthorpe remaining fixtures. There's some tough games in there, but they've both got those tough fixtures. Buxton especially, not a great easy place to go for Kidderminster to go and get a win there. But the way Scunthorpe were playing, I said this a few weeks ago again, that they feel like that confidence. And for me, looking at the team, that calmness within the group, and that's where they're performing well. And having that kind of belief in themselves.
Talk to me about the 2 goal scorers today, and particularly Carlton Ubazonu, because fans were talking about him getting amongst the goals, and he's managed to do that now as well, hasn't he? Talk to me about him and his performance today.
Yeah, a little bit ring rusty first half, few miscontrols, but as soon as he got his goal, you know what it's like as a striker, you get that goal and it gives you that kind of confidence. And it was a bit fortuitous. 2 defenders went for the same ball in the box, and he had time just to control it, get his head up and just find a corner just off the inside of the post. Then second half, really unlucky not to get a second, judged to be a yard offside, and he was offside, but a great finish with his right foot, curled it into the far corner. He was off running, he didn't see the whistle, didn't hear the whistle, didn't see the linesman with his flag, and it took him about 5 or 6 seconds just to realise, bless him, that he was offside. But that kind of confidence is flowing now within his game. You can see that especially second half.
Yeah, and Andy Butler's kept faith in him. He kept saying, didn't he, look, it's going to happen, it's going to click for him, and he stuck by him all the way with it.
Yeah, and I suppose he had the choice: do you play Mark Beck or do you play Ubazunu? And it's kind of totally contrasting in playing styles. You've got a 6'4" target player. At least you've got a bit more kind of flexibility and mobility with Ubazunu. He does look for the ball in behind. He can play either on the left or right flanks. So he's got that variation, and he's proved right with his call in playing him over recent weeks.
And what about how Andy's going about all of this as well, and the way he's handled it? Because under a lot of pressure and criticism for a while, what do you make of the job he's been doing?
Yeah, really consistent. That would probably be the word I would say. I know they say the team wants to play consistently, but Andy Butler's been consistent throughout the season, and his objective is to get promotion, and that's where it get judged on. But yeah, he kind of given that calmness. And I've seen managers, when things are not going right, they blame their players or kind of try and direct the blame onto the players. He's not done that. He's been really supportive when they were going through that kind of dodgy spell in the middle of the season. They've come out of that now, and he's conducted himself really well over kind of a new role, a new job as a manager, and it's not easy no matter what level you're at. And Scunthorpe, with the expectation on his back, he's kind of handled it fantastically well, I would say.
We always talk about the Easter period, don't we? And how crucial that can be. I mean, they've still got a game next week, or a couple of games still to go. Got Radcliffe away and then Spennymoor, and then you look at that trip to Kings Lynn and the home game against Peterborough Sports. By then, I mean, it could go right down to the wire, but you would hope, and I think Scunthorpe United fans and the club as a whole will be hoping by then they've maybe already started to establish and develop enough of a gap where they can feel a bit more comfortable, because that's always such a pivotal period, isn't it, across Easter?
Yeah, and it's quite late Easter this year, so those 2 weeks, those two games over those kind of 4 days, 6 points at stake. I think that it will be the time where you probably say yes or no, but again, it could go all the way down to the Hereford game, last game of the season, away at Hereford. Not a fantastic place to go. Hopefully it won't be that, and it'll be quite ironic if we play Peterborough Sports and done it on that day. But hey, there's still a lot of football to play with 5 games to play, but those games start to run out for Kidderminster, and if they can keep that gap still intact over the next few weeks, it's down to Scunthorpe. It's in their own hands, as they say. That famous quote, it's in their own hands.
It is. Tots, we'll maybe grab a few more words, a quick word with you again in a few minutes, just before we let you head off and enjoy your weekend. That's Steve Torpey, who's been alongside Ollie Turner for commentary of Scunthorpe United against Southport this afternoon. A win for the Iron. Let's recap the day and look at the BBC Radio Humberside Sport headlines. It's 5 o'clock.
BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
Five o'clock then, BBC Radio Humberside Sport through until 6. It's Mike White with you. Good to have your company. Thank you. As we look at 2 big games again for our local sides. It started with a lunchtime kickoff in the Championship, where Hull City were looking to win 3 games at home on the bounce. They've had they've had terrible home form, I should say, for such a long time. But they were looking to make it 3 wins on the bounce for the first time since November 2023. They were facing a relegation rival in Luton Town. They really could have done themselves a massive favour, City. Typical City syndrome is something that gets mentioned a lot by Tigers fans. Unfortunately, it seemed to be that again today.
The City got a defender in a deflection, and City are going to concede 13 seconds in. And that is calamitous from the Tigers. It's a long ball forward. It's cleared away and it's ricocheted off a City man, I think, and gone past Panda, who's just caught flat-footed, can't do anything about it, and it's gone in 13 seconds in a game that's been billed as a big one against a relegation rival, a side currently in the bottom 3, and City are behind.
City were behind and unfortunately had no response. We heard from Ruben Sayes at half-time in the Scunthorpe United game. We'll have Sean McLaughlin's thoughts on that one between now and 6 o'clock as well. He's been talking to me about that, and it keeps City just 3 points above the relegation places. They've dropped down to 20th as well. Stoke City have moved up in the table. Cardiff City have been held to a draw. That helps the Tigers, because with Derby not playing today due to Preston, their opponents, being in the FA Cup, that means their game takes place on Wednesday. It does mean, thankfully, with Cardiff below City, if Derby win, the Tigers will still stay out of the bottom 3 going into next weekend's game against Sheffield Wednesday. But with 7 games remaining, there's still a lot to be done for the Tigers. Thomas